Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk, edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Matt Iwanyk, Lieutenant Eric, and Dean Belanger with us here.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The computer was doing something really weird right there for a second, so I was a little worried.
You don't know
about
the
that.
half of it since you've been gone.
Well, this one was. I've seen. Whatever. We don't need to get into that. I know of some of this stuff. Is there more than the text messages that I was receiving last week?
Probably not, though. But can we confirm it's not a test that you've been running
I
to
have
see
not-
how we
no.
handle things while you're away? Because that was
No.
one theory that kind of popped
If it
up.
was a test while I was like, I would have done the whole like Dwight Schrute fire drill. I would have at least come in and like pulled an alarm and be like, this has been a test.
Can you do that someday, though? I wouldn't mind.
I to Jim Johnson, 907 Maddie. What time did the Morning Boys end? You always have to remember what time the Morning Boys end. Plus, I also had to do some quick troubleshooting before the start of the show. Sorry, Jim. But we are here now. We are going with the EST Hangout. Reminder, we do got the keyword for the EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780. Lots to get to sports-wise. We got CFL, final weekend of the regular season. With the West Division still up for grabs, which is shocking. You've got World Series starting right away, a glorious World Series, one of the greatest World Series you're ever going to see. We also got the Edmonton.
You're having quite a year thus far. Dunya champion. Ravens are looking unstoppable. And the Yankees in the World Series.
It's actually one of those things I find, like, when things go well for me for the year, everything goes well. And when things go poor, like, nothing goes well.
Yeah.
I'm also fourth in Reed Wilkins' CFL Pick'em pool.
Yeah.
Which is, if I can hold on to that, that's at least $100.
Nice.
Man United are cooking.
Oh, well.
Big win on the weekend.
You had to go there.
I did.
You had to go
That'll be
there.
it.
Although, Arnie Slot looking in and Liverpool, like, they're not missing a beat right now.
The slot machine is firing, baby. Yeah.
He's looked pretty good so far, it seems.
Wrexham's playing today.
Do they play today?
FA Cup?
Today.
Is it? Or
Today, yeah.
Or is it League?
I don't
League
know
or FA
either.
Cup? But they're second right now in the League One table.
They are looking good to move up to champions.
I want it. I need it. It's a great story. We were talking about that last night at Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where Dustin with a Y
Showed
came
up.
back to life. Month and a half, he rolls in there like, hey guys, what's going on? Like nothing happened. Jocelyn's crying. I had to touch him to make sure he was real.
They're playing Huddersfield Town.
Oh, yeah.
The Terriers.
There you go.
But was it, do you know what it was for?
No,
Was
I
that League?
I don't know.
Well, now I'm going to have to
I think
look.
it's League.
That's just weird to play League on a Tuesday, right this early in the season. I still haven't finished season 2 of Wrexham. Welcome to Wrexham. But I feel like
Don't
this
they have
like
3 now?
well, 3's coming, or has it started?
No. I think they've had 3 already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a League One match.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. 7-2-2 versus 6-0-5. Huddersfield knows how to win, but they don't know how to get the draws.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big matchup. Do you subscribe to watch any of the Wrexham games?
No, I was going to. They were having some streaming problems at the beginning of the year, and then I realized like I just haven't quite figured out how to work that into my Saturday morning schedule yet. But next year, if they do make champions, it'll be on
Is it
DAZN.
Yeah.
DAZN, is that how you say
DAZN.
it? DAZN.
I like Dazn, though. Like
like
Bourbon
Dazn,
Street.
yeah.
Bourbon Street.
So that might make it a little bit easier. Then I'll try.
You'll like it. The water's great. It's nice to wake up if you are an early riser. But on that
I am.
weekend, you get a full slate.
Yeah.
Gets the sports weekend going.
Yep.
To me, the right now is like that perfect time for the Saturday Sundays because you wake up, you could get the soccer,
College game day.
but you also got college game and college football going. You get the F1 race if you're into the F1 too, and it's just this whole slate of action on Saturday or Sundays that is just peaceful. It's
beautiful.
a different piece. It's wonderful.
Tennessee, Bam over the weekend. Georgia, Texas, some great games. Curtis
And I
Rourke was
missed
lighting it
what
up.
was happening. Well, although he's hurt or something.
He's hurt, but he had
He's in
surgery.
the Heisman watch.
I know, but he had surgery. I watched him. He hit his thumb on another guy's hand. It was bleeding, kept playing. He was lighting it up. But you're right. They were talking Heisman, and I think he had a procedure done on it. So he could be back for Michigan State game. He's going to miss this week, but he could be back.
So is he better than his brother?
I'm saying it.
Like,
It's very interesting.
He's going to get drafted in the NFL.
Yeah, but you have to take a flyer on him if you're but the Stamps or whomever. What would it be? I guess.
But what round? Like, if this guy gets drafted in the NFL, you're not taking a first-round pick on Curtis
No,
Rourke.
he'll go. Traditionally, those guys go
second,
third.
third. I think somebody might take the chance on the second.
I would.
I'd totally
Just to have his rights. Because if it works, doesn't work, and he has to come up.
For example,
I
if
would
you're a
want
team
that.
like the Bombers and it's second-round pick,
And
whatever.
you got to
them-
look for the future. A bit.
Yeah.
Well, them and the
100%.
Lions, I think, again, this year will get the extra second-round pick. Because if you play so many Canadians, whoever plays the most Canadians or has the most Canadian snaps gets that extra pick.
Oh yeah.
Did not know
They
this.
started that last year. And
That's really cool.
I think
Nice
the Bombers and the
incentive.
Lions
Yeah.
got it. And I think it's a second. So if they get another second, like,
But
that's a perfect flyer on
with
that.
the Lions.
No, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah, the
because
Bombers.
the two teams get it.
Yeah.
But the Bombers, you get an extra second because you played so many Canadians. Why wouldn't you take that flyer?
100%.
And he's not. Let's be honest. He'll bounce around a few camps. I mean,
I don't know the height on them. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, they're so
that's what they love. Yeah.
yeah. Like, it's like, oh, the guy threw for 80,000 yards. Awesome. How do you do at the
How
combine?
tall is he?
Yeah.
How high can he
How
jump?
many sticks can he hit when he jumps? Like, it's
He's 6'5", 231.
that's pretty
that's
good.
Tall drink of water.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty good.
He's got a little bit of weight on him.
He was playing a
And I-
Nebraska team, which were 5-1, but he was dropping that ball anywhere and everywhere, all over the field. It was very fun to watch.
Getting quite a few people
Can
saying
you-
it was a league game, by the way. Redbeard and Adam, a
Okay.
big FC
I like
supporter.
it. I
Can
like
you
it.
imagine in a couple years from now having 3 starting quarterbacks in the CFL that are Canadian? Like, that would be absurd.
It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I'll say, is Nathan Rourke still going to be in the league in 3 years?
No.
Yes.
Where's-
Where's Nathan Rourke going to go this year?
Nathan Rourke will be a BC Lion.
Yeah, long term.
I know.
He's had too much
fascinated-
bouncing around.
I'm
That's-
fascinated by what's going on with the BC Lions.
It's a great story.
Like, the fact that they bring in Nathan Rourke, it's not going well, and they go back to VA this past week, and he lights it up.
Well, VA's starting
Like-
now.
And
Oh, he
regardless,
is. And Rick Campbell's already said he's the
Yeah.
guy, but it's just such. What if you go and win a Grey Cup with this guy?
Dean, as fans of the other two teams in the West right now, I don't like this at all. The story that he's writing, you know what
You
I'm
don't like
saying?
the
No,
VA
I-
story?
Wherever him and I, the Bombers and the Riders finish, whoever gets BC in that, they're a different
Remember,
team.
though,
You know,
they get them at home.
true, but still, I think just what Rourke
home,
has shown in that
outside.
disjointedness.
Yes.
Don't
yeah,
forget
I
it'll
know,
be
I get it.
outside.
Yeah.
But he's got a story to
there's
write
no
here.
dome through the West.
Yeah, I know.
Rourke's MVP year where he looked like the second coming, one of the best players I've ever seen. Winnipeg outside, that had a big effect on it.
It did.
And I think it will have the same.
But I get that Hollywood feel now that he's
BC's a good team.
yeah, and
They are a good
the
team.
Rourke stuff that happened, and it kind of I think it turned and rightly so. I mean, they weren't looking disjointed with it, but this could be like one of those propelling moments. You get that sense that spider sense. type
Rourke
of,
is fine. He didn't play really meaningful football for a year and a half, 2 years.
yeah.
But that's why I found this fascinating. Like, I think I was on with you
Yeah.
right before,
Yeah.
or like you were on before he signed, and I was like, I don't see him signing this year. He'll bounce around until the offseason, sign with BC after VA does this season, then
Mm-hmm.
VA can go somewhere it's nice and clean. And then that, like,
Well,
2 days later, VA's Rourke is
I
signed.
don't think that happens if VA doesn't get hurt. I think the
Okay.
injury
Rush things?
propelled all that.
Yeah,
But
was a
now
good-
it's
yeah.
at this point
Yeah.
where
Good
Nathan
excuse.
Rourke comes, he doesn't play well. VA has to come in. If VA goes on this run and does what they would have hoped at the start of the year was win a Grey Cup, it's not as clean of a break at the end of this offseason. Because they'll be like, well, you're
If
going to
you
let
win-
this Grey Cup go for Nathan Rourke, who actually didn't look well, and there's
Nah.
this little bit of a risk there.
He'd be gone.
Yeah.
Oh, he will be gone, but there's going to be a little more question marks about that one, I think. As opposed to if Nathan Rourke came back just as of 2025 and we didn't see him play.
There aren't really a lot of actual marquee big trades in the CFL ever. This could be one where it actually is, and if he won the Grey Cup, it would just make him worth more.
It'd be a great way to sail off to your next, and then you.
He
usher
knows
in
he's
Rourke.
moving.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
yeah.
he's
The
moving.
baton hands off, but hell of a story.
Yeah. And Rourke will be really good next year. Give him an off season, a normal off season,
Yeah.
give him a training
Yeah,
camp.
get his feet settled.
Yeah. I also, they said there might be some discord in that locker room. A lot of those guys are VA guys.
Well, that doesn't help then if you go next year and stick with Nathan Rourke.
It'll be a new team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
new
but
era,
you're-
new
who's
team, and
gonna-
that's
so you're going to get rid of all the VA guys type thing?
turnover can happen pretty fast.
Absolutely, but some of those are top good players.
Yeah.
And if you go and
But you don't carry that grudge into a new season and a new
but
era.
if you go win a Grey Cup with VA and then you move on from VA and you're sitting there going, this guy won us a Grey Cup and you're moving on from him, and well, I want to move on too, type thing. Like there's a potential, just a lot of turmoil.
So more weaponry for the Elks.
when it comes to the BC
Is that what you're
line.
saying? I see where you're.
I think VA's a Calgary Stampeder next year.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, where do you
Yeah,
think
that
he's
makes
going?
the
Well,
most
I don't know.
sense.
I mean, he
It
could go
does.
to a couple of places.
I think Edmonton's still, if I had to guess, I'm leaning towards will be Trey Ford.
Yeah.
That said, I need to wait to see who the president is, who then the GM
Lots
is.
of
and
things have
stuff.
to happen first.
If G-Roy and Jarius Jackson stick around, it's not Trey, and I would be like, okay, they're getting in on the VA sweepstakes.
The only team that really today needs a quarterback is Calgary.
There's not a lot of chairs.
I thought
No.
Hamilton did, but Bo Levi was great the last month and a half.
He's in the conversation for MOP.
Yeah.
This year.
Like for this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And
I think you go back. If he wants to
keep,
play, you
keep going
him.
until.
I
yeah.
think Ottawa's happy with Brown. Montreal is obviously very happy. Toronto's happy.
Well, what happens with Davis Alexander?
Montreal
Like,
are
that's the
flush.
one.
That's another thing. That's another heir apparent there that I wouldn't. If
Yeah.
I'm an Alouette, I don't mind kind of.
Well, you could move on from Cody after a year or so.
You could, or you keep him another and-
you sign Davis Alexander because I believe he's a free agent, and
Yeah.
you go, look, Cody's going to be here next
Yep.
year. We're planning for 26
great
to make
transition.
that move.
Yeah.
Cody may not like it, but Davis Alexander looked good.
Business. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good,
So, and Toronto's happy with their quarterback.
Yeah.
even though he's a douche.
Well,
Absolutely.
nobody else is.
Helps win fantasy
other thing
football
is-
leagues. though.
actually, he didn't though. What? He didn't play that great
Oh, yeah,
that
he-
weekend. He helped me get to the final, but in the final,
Come on,
it was
man.
actually him and Justin McInnes were the ones
It
that
was
didn't
that
do anything
Bomber
for me.
game.
Bombers, Eugene Lewis, and Kadeem Carey had a great game.
Yes,
he was unbelievable. The Sacramento Gold Miners, 4-time junior champions. Actually, I was looking at patches yesterday because I have to buy them. And I used to have this one place out of Vegas that like got them really cheap because to get one patch is hard to find because you're doing a single. You usually have to find minimums.
Yeah, bulk.
So then the one I've been using for the last little while, prices have gone up.
Oh,
It's like $70 for a single patch.
inflation.
I might have to shrink our patches now on our jerseys.
Speaking of which, Mr. Champion, do we have a date set for any type of trophy handover?
According
type of
to
thing?
the charter of the Tunia that was voted on a few years ago, we try for national championship night.
Okay, because I've heard rumors, just rumors. Things aren't that good in Memphis, and there might be
a relocation.
there might be.
I think NCAA championship night.
Okay,
Is that McCord's team?
No, it's
Your team.
we've
I've
had
just been hearing things. I don't know.
Yeah, we've had relocation once.
once, yeah.
And then the team won the next
It led
year,
to success.
Actually,
Yeah.
the Las Vegas Posse had not a great first year, and Scott McCord picked up that franchise in the middle of the night, loaded up the trucks, and drove off to Shreveport.
I love how you use that.
And Shreveport, they became champs the next year, and what was one of the biggest shocks in fantasy sports in period.
Because last year we didn't
Period.
have it on national. The Huskies, Wolverines. It was a
Yeah,
thing.
'cause
so
it,
put
like,
it in pencil this year though.
Yeah, well, 'cause
I want to. There's a few things.
I think Luke was okay with it, but I'm like, dude, like, do you really want to watch your Huskies in the national championship
Fair,
game
yeah.
while we're dealing with Dunya stuff?
So as long as the U aren't in there,
You aren't
which
getting
they
there.
could be. Hey,
You aren't getting
They're
there.
a playoff team, baby.
They're a playoff team. They're a pretty good team.
never know what happens.
It's nice seeing the U be successul again.
Can you imagine that? The
They're not
Hurricanes, the
title
Yankees,
contenders.
the Ravens,
They're
Dunya.
not title contenders.
He's all flush. This is Iwanyck's year.
I almost wore the U t-shirt today, but you know.
Are you a convict? Are you
No, I just I know
one of the?
I wear it ironically.
Okay.
I hate everything about that program.
Okay, but you're not. Are you
awful.
Notre Dame then, or is this some sort of a
I
rivalry?
don't
gripe?
actually really have one, but if I did, it would be Cincinnati.
Okay. Because
This-
the Bear now makes
Bearcat.
sense. I get.
This has been one of the best years to watch college football.
I'm loving it.
It's like
Loving it.
The Pac-12. I'm like USC's lost 4 games now, 3 games. They destroyed the Pac-12 for no reason, just
Yeah.
to lose.
Now getting figured
to
out.
no ones. But the amount of great games we have seen has been ridiculous, actually. So
I just want to go back to one thing because my memory is fuzzy.
Go for it.
How many CFL American teams was there?
okay, are we talking about played or
Yeah, in
know
existence or at
I know
a-
some
Yeah.
a couple
'Cause
maybe
the
happened
gold-
and didn't happen.
Well, Miami Manatees there was a press conference. They never played.
Oh, okay.
But the Gold Miners and Texans were right? Isn't
I
that
think
how it worked?
I think so.
They were one of two.
So you got Sacramento Gold Miners, San Antonio Texans, Memphis Mad Dogs, Las Vegas Posse, Shreveport Pirates,
Birmingham.
Birmingham
Baltimore.
Barracudas, Baltimore Stallions. Are we missing anyone?
I don't think so.
I thought
That
there was
sounds about
6,
right.
but again, it's been when? Like that was so long ago.
I know.
95 was the last year, was it not? Or was it 96?
Yeah, 95 because
When they won the Grey
Stallions
Cup, was
won
that
it in
it?
Regina. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
still living in Winnipeg. Like that was a
it's-
lifetime ago.
ESPN was carrying. ESPN2 had the game or whatever it was, and American commentators.
So let's see who there was. So yeah, there was the Gold Miners, the Posse, the Mad Dogs, the Barracudas, the Pirates, the Texans, and the Stallions.
But did the Gold Miners move to San Antonio? Was that the thing that happened there?
7.
I think, or
That's a really good question.
I-
The
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Gold
thought there was one team
Miners.
that moved out
I
the
think
first
that's
year.
what it was because the Gold Miners were one of the original, and then all the rest came.
Sorry, I'm taking a quick look
I
here.
really love. I don't know. I know people hate it, but I love that time. And my theory too. I've always said if you're going to do it again, you just
They
go
move to
below
San
the border.
Antonio.
The Dakotas, the Wyomings,
Yeah.
they like pro football. Well, they like their football. They have their college. Load up in the early summer, the early part of the season. Load up their home schedule. Once it gets to college season, have them more on the road coming up to Canada a bit more.
But you can't do it because it kills the ratio thing. And that
Oh, I know.
is
I know. There's a lot of
You
lot of
have
road
to
bumps.
figure
CFL.
that
But in the
out.
fantasy world, that's where you do. You don't go down
Yeah.
to SEC country
No,
again
no,
and try to.
No, but the only I still though go. How do you try to mix in St. Louis if the UFL ever failed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's actually a big
That's
market.
your outlier out in the travel type of thing. But
The fact of the matter is, it saved the league. No one
Which
remembers
one? The US?
the U.S. expansion saved the league. The league was on life support.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was business wise. It was just in shambles. CBC had finally decided they were done. CTV really hurt them losing that, and they were in bad shape. They were in, like that league. Like we were having telethons in Saskatchewan,
Yep.
and it was bad.
NFL coming to the rescue. They know the importance of the league and the
Yep.
importance of the franchise. But I again, as you say, I always look back at that time fondly. As much as of a disaster it ended up being, you're right. It provided a how shall we say?
Catalyst.
Yeah, a bit of a linchpin in there to kind of bridge a gap between two
Yeah.
different times, and,
Yeah.
and it carried
put
you through.
a stable team in Montreal, which
that's-
also
yeah.
really helped because the East was just like, okay, what team are we going to lose this year?
Yeah.
It was every year. It was the West holding up the league, and
And what could have been for the Stallions if they stayed, that Montreal team was good for how many? I mean, that was a dynasty there with Pringle and Ham and all that.
that Baltimore team was so good,
Yeah, but again, when you don't have the ratio, changes a lot.
100%.
Yeah,
And that's
there's
why you really can't. do
Lots of speed
And
bumps.
you can't do it because the labor laws of the US say you can't implement those type of laws in there. So like, but I agree with Eric on the point of like,
If you're gonna
you
do it, if
magically
you-
could
yeah.
get around that, I would look at the Montanas and the Dakotas.
Be very interesting
because you could
20,000 seats and whatever.
in college season, you could play Fridays, and I wouldn't be afraid to play some Sundays against
Why
the
not?
NFL because those teams they would show up.
Yeah.
they love their football, and they know they're not getting the NFL. They know they're not getting the UFL.
This is their place to go and have fun.
And this is now a league of 20-some thousand.
Yeah, all
They
along
could
the
get
border,
20-some
all along the
thousand.
border, east to west.
And they already watch their players come up here and play.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
That's
ton
what
of
I'm
guys
saying
from
too.
The Dakotas
and they
go to-
follow them. Yeah,
And they follow. So now it's
Regina
like
and Winnipeg.
you could be that player that goes and plays North Dakota State, great career, and all of a sudden stay in North Dakota and become this massive star.
yeah. Minot Miners
Where
or
that
something.
state's going to love you because now you've just built this whole career where you went from college to the pros in that state, and you then could own a bunch of car dealerships when you're retired.
Whatever.
And that the state will love you.
But
Run
it
for
just-
governor after that because you brought a Grey Cup to the North Dakotas.
That'd be the play, not New Mexico or something.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think New Mexico. But I wonder if the CFL ever could get to 12 teams. That's a number I wonder. You'd have to add 3 more.
Let's just get to 10.
Well, that
Yes.
but like you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
I
Quebec
agree.
City, can you? But I think there's got to be a long dream here. I don't think 10 should be the.
It's
it.
okay to dream.
But I don't think you could go bigger than 12
Well,
unless you are taking on the
yeah,
states.
for me, it was always East Coast, Quebec City, and then I don't know if Saskatoon could do.
I don't think that would be. They get
wouldn't
it's all
risk that
travel, and people from all over the province.
Yeah.
I do wonder since the Lions too are located in Metro, Vancouver, you do something with some sort of the interior there. But
That's what I
even
think.
that too,
Maybe.
It's that, or you could do Victoria.
because they love their junior ball out there too.
Yeah.
in a lot of those places.
They
but
do. There's great football, lacrosse,
Okanagan Sun have a huge program, and
yeah, golf. A lot of different sports in BC that were not different. Like we all play those here, but they're bigger there.
Yeah.
Because they have a longer season.
Yeah.
It could just go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Are you surprised the Riders still have a chance at the CFL West division
In
going
this
into the
season?
last season?
In this season,
based on
not
this
a
season.
no. This season has been a wacky,
It's-
wild ride, and I love it, baby. And the
yeah.
VAJ stuff just adds to it all. Again, that's another wrinkle that just. And Toronto hosting a game. Toronto and Ottawa haven't met in the playoffs. I think I read since 1990.
Really?
I know that's a weird thing. Yeah. Honest to God.
In a 4-team division?
Please
Really?
correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to be corrected. I swear. It was one of those
think you're right.
morning tweets. You're sitting, down. You're
'Cause
scrolling
it's-
down the thing.
Well, Toronto's been bad for a long time.
Yeah, and Ottawa-
now that they've just gotten good, Ottawa's been crap.
Right, and they haven't been around for a long time, so but it's a weird thing. And Ottawa's playing on the road, I think, in the playoffs for the first time in a long time as well. So, I just to answer your question, I'm not surprised.
I personally am, just in the sense of, I guess maybe I wasn't looking at the standings too closely, because like going into last week and all of a sudden like hearing that the Bombers have to win next week to win the division, and I'm like, they can't be that close.
was that bloody
because the
tie.
Bombers had like started like really rolling.
Tie, I knew the tie
the
would come
tie.
in,
But then you
Should've
look
been a
and
win.
you're like, oh my god, here,
For Ottawa.
here it
for
is.
the Riders, I think.
For Ottawa.
Well, like it's a credit to the Riders for. Is it salvaging the season? But
they've hung
or
around.
turning
They're
it around
pesky
or
and
whatever. Like that,
scrappy, yeah.
they had that run where they lost a lot of games, and they lost a lot of wacky games.
But everyone's had that run.
And they lost
Sure.
their quarterback, and
Other
you've
than
lost your
Montreal,
quarterback.
everyone has had, like,
Yeah.
BC was leading the division. Saskatchewan was there for a couple weeks.
They
yeah.
started good. Winning
And then-
game is
but
maybe
then
they should have
Bombers-
won.
They were at the top because actually
Yeah.
they started at the top because the Lions lost their first game of the season.
Okay.
And the Riders won their first
Yeah.
4 or 5, and they were sitting
Yeah.
at the top of
But
the West.
winning games that you could have argued that they could have lost. They lost games you could argue they could have won. Both the Bombers and Riders went on weird streaks.
Yes. Yep.
The Elks over the Labor Day kind of weekends, that smoke screen came out, and maybe they could even take the thing. So every team has kind of had their, in the West specifically, their ups and downs. Calgary's been that
kind of the only
constant
team.
kind of loser.
Yeah.
But again, to go off your question, I could see them being a banana peel this weekend too.
Well-
Why not? They got embarrassed. They
No.
got their pants down to him.
No,
It's the
they're
CFL.
not good.
The Riders have needed to win games in the past where it's been like, oh, all you need to do is score 20 points, and they've scored 19 or whatever. I'm just saying, in a season of this season, I
You
fully
can't
expect the
anything.
unexpected.
Yeah.
I fully
actually,
do.
I agree with that.
It's- and
with
from
the
a
way
Rider
this,
standpoint,
like
don't
who
tell
saw
me
the
that it's
Argos coming up and beating the Bombers a couple of weeks ago?
Me.
You did?
I
'Cause,
predicted
like-
that the Argos were going to be the best second half team in the league. It took Kelly a while to get going, but now that he is, they're scary. They are scary. It wouldn't shock
I'm still
me.
not
that-
sold on Toronto.
It
They've
wouldn't
been too up
shock
and down
me
this
at
year.
all if they
But
come out of the East.
I could see them making the
the-
Grey Cup. Absolutely.
Montreal does not look good.
No.
Well, they're fading a bit. Jay Milne was always fading them actually mid-season as
They
well.
have been
He did-
fading since they beat the Riders because Lawler missed how
Those
many
were
field goals.
fraudulent wins too.
Well,
yeah.
so they
Riders
got
had
that
them, but-
win. They then go play the Elks the next week, and the Elks blew it in that one. They
Yeah.
didn't. The Owls didn't look great in that one.
Yeah.
Then I think it was a bye week or something. And then they took on BC. BC went there and beat them good. The Owls have not looked good since probably the beginning of August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, since Cody Fajardo's kind of come back, they actually haven't been that strong.
They
of
have a
football
great
team.
defense that keeps you in games, and they've
Yep.
cobbled together a few wins. That,
Yep.
Losing
could've
Tyson
went either way.
Philpott.
Yeah,
was
they have
huge for them.
injuries
I
too,
think
yeah.
that's a big one for them.
Yeah.
Austin Mack comes back. He gets hurt right away, so
Mm-hmm.
they don't have him. But I don't think they're coming out of the
I think the
East.
record in a not a mediocre year, but a parity, I guess, year from all the other teams. That record kind of is a bit of a smokescreen. They've won some games where
Yeah.
maybe they had no business winning it, and here they are, and that's great for them. But I think again, one-off playoff games. Who's to say?
Well, it's been a 500 league other than Calgary and Montreal. Pretty much, it's
Yeah.
been a 500 league.
But I
which
think
is
Calgary's more
amazing.
true to their record than maybe Montreal is, given the spirit
Yeah.
of our debate.
Yeah, Calgary's terrible.
Yeah.
They need a flush.
Yeah.
They need to redo. But again, if you have good management and you can find a quarterback, it does
That's the
not
key.
take long in the CFL. And if they,
You
like
gotta
said,
turn it around.
They get VA, you build a program really quickly around
Yeah.
him. Really quickly.
Or maybe that's where David Alexander goes
Yeah, maybe.
if he's a free agent.
Do they let him go though?
But if he's afraid,
I
well,
know.
like,
But I just
like
they're
I think
that's-
Montreal would.
They're in the same position that the Bombers were in last year with Brown. They would have loved to have kept Brown. They just
Sure.
couldn't.
I got to double check here because somebody brought it in, and I on a Green and Gold post game show once, and I thought I looked it up, and it was Yeah, Davis is his free agent after this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if if I'm Calgary, you got two options potentially.
Well, there'll be more than two options. There's going to be other guys.
Who?
There'll be movement. Brown,
so you got Mazzoli still.
The Ford situation
but I don't
has
think
to be fixed. Winnipeg's hosting the Grey Cup next year, so I don't think they'll change their quarterback.
I think if Ford's not in Edmonton, I could see him being in Winnipeg as a backup. I could see him being in Hamilton as a backup. I could see a transition with Hamilton where...
They love Powell.
Are you sure?
That's what I've been told.
Well, maybe, but
no, you're right.
If Bo's coming back for 1 year...
Yeah. Maybe Powell goes somewhere or something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with the Powell and not realizing how much they like Powell. But if Bo's going for 1 more year, because you just never know. No one saw this season coming from Bo Levi. I think we all thought.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever. This was an amazing season. If Taylor Powell doesn't get hurt against Edmonton, who knows?
He's still running the lemonade stand on the.
But it's does Trey Trey's not coming back to Edmonton as a backup, but he might have to be a backup somewhere else in this league. He's not getting a starter
if Jones is there though.
The only difference is he isn't in management, and if he's on the
today,
yeah, but if he's on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, well, when's his deal expire with the Elks?
July.
Well, see what happens there.
He'll be the DC there. Milanovic will be the head coach.
Great DC.
Orlando is still there as the president of football ops, or the head. Is he not?
And Hervey?
Hervey's the GM. Or is
See
he
where
coming
this is
here?
going now? Is
Calgary looking for a new coach?
See, they don't need if they need a coach.
Craig's right there. It can't be though.
Or it's Mark Gillum. Why not?
No, they're not flushing Dave and then bringing in his brother.
You can't.
He goes to just GM.
I know, but Craig
was it pretty?
He
nice guy. I get it.
He won some games. It didn't end well with Saskatchewan, but
he's not a head. He's not a head coach. In my humble opinion.
Okay, or then it's Mark Gillum.
Fair enough. Maybe he gets his finally gets his chance.
Well, that's Calgary. They're not hiring anyone else. If Dave Dickinson,
it'll be an in-house thing.
Dave Dickinson's not getting fired.
Probably
so
not.
Dave would have to,
but
he would have to step down as head coach.
Exasperated.
Oh yeah, that neck beard is.
So Dave Dickinson announces as at the press conference goes, "I'm giving up the head coaching. I'm just going to be GM." He's not going outside of the Stamps.
No,
he's hiring his brother. He's hiring Mark Gillum.
What role does Huffnagel play there?
He's gone basically.
He's kind of the godfather
now.
He's kind of you get his blessing.
But he's every 2 years he's taken a step back type thing. And I think after last season or was before last season, he fully stepped away as president of the club. He's still there as an advisor or something, but he's not day-to-day involved anymore.
Okay. Because TSN had a great shot of him looking very sad.
Well, everything he's built.
Don't mind it at all. More of those, please.
He's always eating popcorn.
Yeah.
Him with his wife. He's always eating popcorn. But no, it's they're not going to hire anyone else. Their coaching situation, their next head coach is figured out.
I think Gillum finally gets. I couldn't see Craig.
Why not?
Why not?
Because he was the thing.
He's not a head coach.
The thing he has over Gillum was he was a head coach.
Yeah,
that is the one thing he has for that.
If it's Craig moving up, I could see him putting his brother.
Yes,
in a spot. I could see that.
Well, long be it. Here's to Craig coaching the Stamps.
The
Matt
Dickinson
Dunnigan
brothers.
2.0, yeah.
Oh,
remember that little
I
experiment?
love the Matt Dunnigan era.
I loved it too. The one blip in the Stampeders' success over the past.
Was it under him or was it before him? I think it was the coach before him, because he didn't replace Wally.
Was it when was Higgins pre or post Dunnigan?
It
would have to be.
My whole timeline's
post.
messed up in there.
It was post.
I was doing a lot of damage to my brain.
Yeah, no, Dunnigan was 04, and Higgins got fired after the 04 season because he faked it. And so then Higgins went there, Tom Higgins, yeah, and then he was only there for a year or two till Huff came.
Oh yeah, Dunnigan was real quick, yeah.
So, but I don't remember.
Dunnigan was a year.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think loved it.
Was there a coach before Dunnigan? Because I remember
really
the owner. I just can't because I don't know if this was under Dunnigan or if it was under a different coach. There was the owner.
When did Wally leave?
That's what I'm trying to remember. But there was an owner. He was like the Forzani Group guy.
Yeah.
He forced them to play his son as starting quarterback.
Yeah. Johnny Forzani, or
That's
whatever his
what
name was.
Like
Yeah.
it was.
That was a wild
and
time.
I don't know if that was under Dunnigan.
Yeah.
Bought a lot of shoes from Forzani's back in the day.
CFL had some just
That's a great
stories. Cal Murphy's
here we go.
son-in-law being a backup quarterback.
Adam Rita.
So Buono was 90 to 2002. You then had an individual come in before Dunnigan. Jim Barker.
Yeah, how do I forget Jim Barker?
Jim Barker.
Then it was Dunnigan, then Higgins for a couple of years, and then DeHuff. Jim Barker. Jim freaking Barker.
I forgot
I
about
love him
Jim
on the
Barker.
panel.
He's great on the
I
panel.
love him.
Yeah.
I like Enoch Mwamba.
So do I.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good this year. I don't think I've watched enough though, half times or anything like that. This year. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
No.
I usually watch them a little bit more, but
No.
I think when I'm watching the Elks games, I'm too busy with the ponies.
They
You're
had
laying down pennies.
Maddie, and who's the other one? It was all Bomber. Milt. It was all Bombers. And I'm like, hey, there you go. Everyone played for the Bombers. That's good.
I don't think everyone else likes that.
It's fine.
I do love Milt though.
They
I'm
told
a
me the
big Milt
division
fan.
was sewn up.
Who did?
Milt said it was mathematically.
It was
Got to
not.
check the numbers again.
I think, even though I'm a little stressed out about this Montreal game, because going to Montreal on the road is not going to be
and they
easy.
need a win now. I think we were. I can't remember who I was talking. Well,
No, they
Montreal
could
loses
tie.
the game against BC. No, but you know what I'm saying. Like they need to kind of show up.
Yeah.
If they would have beat BC, you could argue the Alouettes kind of. You
But
maybe.
you're already hosting the East Final. Like,
No, I know,
are
but you want to go
risking
in on a
injury?
bit of a
I still think this is good for the
depth
Bombers.
chart-
You wanna play hard.
I'm excited for depth chart day Thursday, Friday.
for sure.
Yeah.
To see
No.
where all these teams.
And
Because
yes,
for
it's a good test. You're right.
No, it's not the good test. They would have had way too many weeks of nothing football, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's good in football.
No.
So this week they've had to prepare
Yeah.
for a real game. If they win, then they get the following
But I think
week
Montreal
off.
too is having that loss in Vancouver. They want to maybe they won't start as many people, but they'll want to play a competitive game to get the
Yeah, they want
because then they'll be
to.
off for a week too. I mean,
But
you
they,
kind of
again, they have nothing to play for.
no, I get it psychologically, but
It's
you want to
hard.
get up for it.
Football is a hard game to manufacture fake.
But
You can't manufacture
that's
intensity.
coaching. And Jason
Yeah.
Moss though will
He was losing his mind on the sideline,
Sure.
but his players didn't follow.
well.
There's nothing to play for.
No, I know that, but I'm saying you can't go into a bye hosting the final losing two games.
It's not going to be an easy game.
No.
By any stretch. But I think
Say
I think it's good for the Bombers. If they can win that game, it's going to help them springboard their playoff. If they lose that game and then Saskatchewan gets to host, that'll be interesting.
I still, though, I maintain too. I almost like going in host. You get the home playoff game in second. You get the money and the financial windfall from that. But then you also kind of have an opportunity to get on a roll. And again, in football, it's nice to have a week off and rest up. Don't get me wrong. I think
sure.
there's two sides. But the waiting around sometimes and then having the pressure to host that game with a team that's coming off a high of winning a playoff game at home and all that.
Montreal and Toronto just did what you said.
Right.
Finished
So it's
second,
always that
win the-
weird thing.
Yeah.
Like I know the numbers maybe suggest otherwise, but
Well-
there's always two ways to balance that.
I will say maybe for this year, like with the Bombers or the Riders, whoever comes in second, it might work because you just had a bye
Yeah.
last week.
Both
Like
of them.
you've got a little bit of rest
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
That it's not like like it's been like, okay, it's been a grind of 8 weeks. Getting that extra bye week just to rest up a little bit more would be really nice. Well, you just had a bye.
That's interesting.
So
Both
do you
of them,
need
yeah,
two
yeah.
buys in 3 weeks?
But the Bombers also have won 4 Western Finals in a row. So,
Yeah, no, well, I don't think the Owls will play people this weekend. I think you're going
I
to see
think they're going to be
major,
very afraid of injuries.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're like depth chart day on Friday is going to be fascinating to see who the Owls do. But then, watching how the Riders have to go about this because the Riders have to prepare with the chance of winning the West Division.
Yeah.
But by the time kickoff happens, they might not have a chance to
Well,
win the West
and-
Division, and then they've got to
Well, then you
transition
can-
into
And they know they're playing the
rest
worst
mode and
team.
all of that.
But that's easy to do too. You kind of just take your foot off the gas a bit in that sense. But you should always football again. You're always told too. If you play half, if you're on the field and going, you're going to get hurt. Like you have to go out there, regardless of the situation, preseason, whatever, expecting in your mind to win and to clobber the other. Like that's if you go in anything less, you're setting yourself up for failure on multiple fronts.
Yep.
I feel like it's been a while since we had a last week of the season playoff implication race.
And I wish
In
the
the
East
West?
would
CFL.
have. I wish
And
the
the
East would have
CFL
gone down
overall.
too last week. Too.
I don't think even then, like usually we know who the 3 teams are. Like the last week is usually like, okay, everything's locked in. Let's get through this week and next week. We're actually talking about a division in the West that is up for grabs.
Speaks to the season though. Again,
It's
been a
been
hell
all
of a
over the
season.
place.
I
Well,
love
yeah,
it.
the Bombers are
Just
10
love
and
it.
7.
Just love it.
There's no crossover talk.
Yep.
No.
The East have more points than the West.
And there was some East crossover talk, just bubbling a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
At a point, which was nice.
100%.
I welcome that.
Yeah.
There was a moment for every team in this league that you could be like, this team could go do some damage
Except
in the playoffs,
Calgary.
except for Calgary.
Except Calgary, which is good too. I think we all agree in this room. ABC, baby.
When you go to last year there was the 3 teams we put at the top going into the playoffs, which was Winnipeg, Toronto, BC. Then there was Montreal, who didn't win a single
had a
game against
tiering.
those 3 teams, lost to or beat everyone else, but didn't beat the other ones. It's in my drawer.
In the drawer.
It's in the where all the prizing is.
I can find
It's
it.
there.
It's on the counter there. That red ale.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Nielsen.
And then there was everyone like Saskatchewan wasn't going to do anything last year. Calgary wasn't going to do
You had
anything.
a tiered
Hamilton,
system,
Ottawa,
yeah.
Ed,
Yeah.
like it was all. This year, looking at these playoff teams, I would say 5 of the 6 teams I feel like could go win it. I don't think Ottawa can go win
For
it.
sure.
I'm taking Ottawa out of this.
They've
The
faded in
the one thing
injuries.
Montreal
The other 5 teams I could all see getting to the Grey Cup and winning it.
And Montreal got hot at the right time last year, much like Winnipeg got hot in 19 at the right time because they came out of nowhere, picked up Kolaros, and then went nuts.
Quarterbacking there was a big change.
Huge.
They weren't
change.
winning with Matt Nichols,
No.
and they weren't winning with Chris
Strebler
Strebler.
either. No.
It's how it all completely changed. But no, it's
Yeah.
it'll make for a fun playoffs this year.
I don't know that there is that team this year, other than, to Eric's point, BC could end up being that team.
It's just got that storyline now
Like
that you
getting
fear.
hot.
Yeah.
And
at the right
VAJ in the
time.
room comes together and everybody's la-di-da, kumbaya.
Yeah.
And but
Winning
the road, you're right though. Playing on the road will be tough. And
will be.
that's
But
And-
I could say, but you just said Toronto's been the best second half team. They're getting hot.
Yep.
I could see Toronto just rolling. I could see
But
Winnipeg
but
just
they didn't
rolling.
come out of nowhere.
Like,
Toronto, everyone thought was going to be good.
yeah, but we all knew
That's
BC's supposed to be good. So they're not really coming out
but-
of nowhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
That's where, like,
yeah, it could be a BC Toronto Grey Cup.
God.
I think the West, it's going to be any of those 3 teams. It's going to be a fascinating West or
Going-
East final, Montreal versus Toronto. Who's going to
Going
get through?
through Saskatchewan and Winnipeg is not going to be easy. That is a gauntlet.
And then to play a home playoff game or a Grey Cup, pardon me. If you get through those 2 and then
Yeah.
you're at home for the Grey Cup, what a tale. I mean, again, I'm adding to this story. Stop me,
East
please.
wins because of that. The West is such a gauntlet.
Chad Kelly wins the Grey Cup.
I'm-
Denying BC their home. Chad Kelly, boo, to a chorus of boos nationwide.
Or
I'm sure nobody wants to see Winnipeg 5 times in a row, but that's got to be.
We all like a little parody. I mean, dynasties are fine too, but
Edmonton winning 5 in a row is never
Different
probably
era.
gonna
Well,
happen again.
different
Different
era.
era. But how many teams have gone 5 in a row? Like, that's pretty special.
the closest we would have had was Montreal did it in 02, 03, 05, back
I know the
in 9,
Bombers did it
10.
in the 60s. They went to 4
I don't think
or
they were
5,
there in
but they didn't go to
between.
5 of 5, I don't believe.
Oh, the Bombers or the Owls might have been there one more time. Yeah, it's very difficult to. It really kind of though. If the Bombers get there, it defines their legacy. If they get there and lose, they're the Bills in a sense.
No, they're not.
In a
They won 2. They're not the Bills.
but it's the CFL also. Like it's easier to get there. You got there 5 times and you only won twice, and you won in a COVID year.
Yeah, and then you could also say, well,
But if they go win it,
they lost to Toronto because the quarterback got hurt in the Western Final. And the Montreal, I give full credit to Montreal
but
for winning that game last year.
Toronto's
100%.
quarterback got hurt in the Grey Cup, and they went with the backup, and he won it for them.
Yeah, well, he was a better player.
He was, and is. It's not even up
Yeah.
for debate on that. But if they go and also win, though, 3 of 5, that's like one of the better, greatest dynasties you'll see. Like it's not Elks 5 in a row.
In a modern day without
but
any of
modern
the,
day,
But it's-
like that is ridiculous.
yeah,
That's 60% success.
You can't compare no cap to cap. You just can't. And I know the cap is kind of loose and you can go over
That's
it,
why
whatever.
you have to say modern.
Yeah, I'm not taking any away from those teams of the late 70s, early 80s, but it's totally different.
It's harder to keep people.
No one knew what anyone was spending back then. And I guarantee you Edmonton was spending way more than everyone else.
you think?
Well, you're getting 45, 50,000 people a game.
Grass, the whole bit.
Yeah, like it was.
The Elks need to start spending again. We're at a point where the salary cap doesn't mean anything.
I
No,
don't
you're right.
know
You
that
take
I
the
like
hit.
that,
We're
by the
back.
way.
the
Everyone's
hit.
doing
I don't know that I like that. I think they need a good cap to maintain a good business model. This league, I've seen it good and I've seen it bad, and I don't want to see it bad
Well,
again.
when did this change? Because it was
Change
like
what?
Well, so the Elks were great, or double E, late 90s, like the early 2000s. And then it sounds like around then, a harder cap came in and it stopped the Elks from overspending. And all of a sudden now, I feel like it's only been in the last couple of years we've heard teams again spending over the cap, and all they're getting is like a little fine and losing a draft pick.
See, and I knew nothing about that until you mentioned it. I didn't know the Bombers are spending over the cap.
Last
I
couple
had
of years.
no idea.
But again, it's not like you do it.
Right, but when did this start up again, where teams are able to spend over this cap, and it's not the most harshest penalty? Yeah, if you CFL 2023 cap exceeded, if I could find this quickly here, the CFL fined Ticats, Bombers, Lions for exceeding the salary cap in 2023. This year, without question.
And does it say how much?
They all spent. Oh, actually, with this, they all spent above the cap last season by an amount less than 100,000.
Well, so that's
it's not a lot.
much.
No.
And that could have been injuries.
But I'm going to say this: what is the BC Lions spending over the cap this year? They brought in Matthew Betts. They brought back Nathan Rourke.
But is the penalty any more great?
Yeah, but Rourke's also on a structured deal where he's getting backup
Yeah.
money this year, and he's going to get starter money starting next year. He also has an option to leave.
4 teams were
which I
fined in
don't- he would obviously
2022.
Yeah.
What were they?
100,000
They're all.
is
Well, then raise the cap 100,000. If it's 100, like if is the cap the cap?
Yeah.
Penalties for going off the cap is escalate if teams are found to have exceeded more than 100,000. As of no team. So I don't think you could still play over that. If you're Larry Thompson, spend over it.
Doesn't matter. Take the
Get the double
penalty
back
and
to
move
their
on.
old days.
What's his net worth?
Reportedly, him and his brother sold their company for $800 million.
Decent walking around money.
October 22 as well. Do we get a Prez anytime soon, or are we told late this month?
Have you heard rumors of any candidates?
No.
No way.
No, and I was actually just talking with someone on the phone last week about it, and I was like, this is wild. I haven't heard any names. And he's like, I haven't either. Like,
That's a good process.
Yeah,
it is.
Boring for you
keeping it
guys to
tight.
talk
No,
about.
but yeah,
But it's a good process.
But they need one. Like,
Yes.
I want a president in place.
you need structure to name
I
people.
wouldn't be surprised if we hear it this week. I will throw that out there.
I also,
I
at
wouldn't be
this point-
surprised leading into a home opener or home finale, like last game of the season, last home game of the season, if at some point the next couple of days we get a drop saying press conference coming up. But they need one in place because that president needs to start evaluating his football team.
Yes.
And I feel like you want to be their Grey Cup week for the final little negotiations.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because
you
the
need
week or,
that in place
That's when
for
the
Grey
dance
Cup.
partners start
week
kind
or
of
two
meeting
after
up.
Grey Cup, you need to be having the announcement of this is my actually, I'm not even the week after Grey Cup, you need to be announcing this is my GM, so that GM could go in the week after be like, this is my head coach. And you can't be starting behind the 8 ball by having this announced in late
At
December.
least a president, and a president will probably have their GM. The GM can say, I have someone in mind, I need to wait. I can live with that too.
They'll have ideas, and then you
Yeah.
work from there. But
Because they've got a funnel. They'll say, okay, I want Buck Pierce, but I have to wait for Buck Pierce. Now, I'm not saying I would hire Buck Pierce, but
yeah, hypothetically, you
Yeah.
get your
Yeah.
ducks in a row and you move.
but you
from
need
there.
to have that in place for Grey Cup because you need people walking around shaking hands and kissing
Yes,
babies.
that's the time to do it. Yep,
100%.
absolute. And it's probably a good timeline, as you mentioned. The Oilers play that day as well. Maybe you get a little buzz going as well. Maybe for that game, right? Like it's
Well, you don't do it that day.
no, but
You
just
do it this
leading
week
up again.
sometime.
The
You
whole
have
week
to.
is going to be
Well, and ticket sales aren't going great.
well, exactly because
So
you create a bit of a buzz for that, and
brutal of the Oilers NHL to schedule a Penguins game here at the same time as a tough sell late October Elks evening game. Possibly under 3,000 at Commonwealth. I wouldn't say it's under 3,000
smoked turkey legs at the tailgate as well.
for.
I can't remember Dave. Dave's got the booth.
Oh, Dave McKinnon.
yeah.
I don't think the NHL cares about the CFL.
Well,
all that
and
much.
here's where they don't, in a sense. They also schedule a Canucks home game the same night
That's
as Grey
stupid.
Cup.
Yeah,
As
the whole week they have a homestand,
but
aren't they?
they did move the start time of that Canucks game. I think they moved it to later in the night.
See, that's terrible.
So you could do both. But like that to me is like if you're the Canucks, you go like we should be on the road for a couple games here.
Yeah.
And we should not be playing on Sundays. And if the NHL cared about the CFL, maybe they wouldn't play evening games of Canadian franchises. You could like all the Canadian teams could be off on a Sunday night.
Nice for the NHL to finally have a league to beat down on, though. Hey,
Yeah, that's why sometimes I don't feel bad when they get dunked on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they
They don't treat
they can't
the
flex on
CFL
anybody
with
else.
respect.
They
so
can't flex
you're
on
not allowed
anybody
to-
else.
Yeah, because they all like just would brush them off.
I know.
Well, it's the
So this is their
conversation with the
chance to
NHL
kind of go
yesterday is,
down.
well, how do you only have one game yesterday when you're going up against the NBA slate today? Well, if you went up with more games yesterday, you're going up against the NFL who have 2 games. How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah. No.
The only reason the NBA doesn't completely demolish them is they share like 10 buildings or something like that, or whatever it is, 10, 12 buildings.
Yeah.
So they
But
can't.
It would be nice to have a little bit of cooperation at times.
Why
where
not?
It's,
Makes the world go round, right?
it's- You look after.
You shake my hand and we'll shake
Why?
yours
And
at
even
another
it's
time
just
or
be
whatever the
looking
case.
after your
I
own
don't know.
teams. Like the Oilers should be looking at their city and like, oh, you want to know something? Like, hey, the Elks have these games. That schedule comes out in December.
Billionaires
Let's-
caring about the city. You're funny,
Well,
man.
and they
That's a
at
good one.
least don't have 2 home games at the same time. Like, hey, they're playing at home. If we're playing that night, we should be on the road, or vice versa, type thing.
Or, like back in the day, schedule the double header, but give it enough time so that
Yes.
you can do
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
And-
Have it make a day out of it.
Yeah,
or-
make a sport day out of it.
Cross
That's
promo
amazing.
and yeah,
But, yeah, that's junk.
grinds my gears.
And it's not just a game coming to town for the Oilers. It's not like it's
Well, it's Jesse
It's not-
Puljujarvi's return.
Yeah.
And people will be out in throngs. They'll be lining the streets.
But you got Sid the Kid,
Yeah.
and for how many more chances are you going to get to see Sid the Kid?
Yeah.
Like 2,
Who's
3,
not a kid?
right? So
Can we get
it's
a new nickname for kid?
Nasty
love
chat.
it.
Do your work.
I love it. In the nasty chat, Maddie, how about your Ravens last night?
Yeah, they
That's
look
what you
good.
looked at.
Yeah, we went over all your teams. It's enough. Manchester United, et cetera, et cetera. Success.
I actually am surprised.
a
For 3
must on you.
questions too many. Presented by Park Mazda on the wonderful Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric, or is it with Lieutenant Eric? I always forget which one it is.
Doesn't matter.
Well, on the sign, I always forget.
Yes.
It's same with
think
Reed and
it's
Jay.
with.
Is it with?
Yeah.
I always forget which one it is. You guys were going, who's the Super Bowl contender favorite? I'm sorry, it's the Chiefs until otherwise.
Well, and again, are
It's
you
always
still
the Chiefs till otherwise.
Well, I
playoff
haven't lost
PTSD
yet.
with the Ravens too? Like you're looking really good, and Derrick Henry and all that stuff.
100%,
But again, you
but-
haven't really,
It's not even like the Chiefs are also undefeated still.
yeah.
Like they are the Chiefs. It's
Patty
They're
Mahomes,
a
what?
zombie.
if you want to
They
tell
are
me
a
exactly.
yes,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to tell me Chiefs or Field, I get one,
I
you get the other.
know.
I'm taking Chiefs.
I know.
I still am until
But they're
they
the
lose.
least convincing they've ever been.
100%. But
So-
you want to know something? They'll turn it on when they need to. Last year, everyone was against the Chiefs and like, oh, look, they're finally like, they were losing some football games. Maybe the Chiefs aren't who they aren't. And then playoffs
find a
come
way.
and snap of the finger, they turn around. The Patriots were a team that was better through the regular season than the Chiefs have been.
Mahomes is playing like a Brady.
But they turn it on when they need to.
garbage stats and just
I know people don't want to hear that, but until the Chiefs lose, they're the favorite.
I'm not a Ravens guy, you know that, but I love seeing Henry do what he's doing just to piss off Cowboys fans. 'Cause how did you not sign him?
he's more trim. And he doesn't celebrate touchdowns anymore. He's a man now. He said that. He let the young guys do it. He's a pro's pro now.
That 50,
150 yards a game, no sweat.
something yard run. I'm like, how does that like? He just doesn't look quick, but he's blowing by DBs.
But he's not that bowling ball shape that he used to be either. Like he's a lot more fleet of foot. Like he's
Can you
taking care of
imagine trying
himself.
to tackle that.
I have 2 concerns with the Ravens for winning playoffs.
Health?
And outside
Health
of,
is always
no,
one.
but outside
Weather.
of playoffs being, them in the playoffs. Their defense could sometimes be very suspect.
Yeah.
Yesterday the start, I was worried. 'cause
Which is funny
it
talking
almost
as a
was
Ravens fan,
Right,
eh?
well, right there was almost 14-0 for the Bucks to start.
Yeah,
that
you're
game.
right.
They
Oh
can
my
be
God.
passed on.
The Ravens offense also seems to find ways. They have that one play where you go, why are you doing that? And it either stalls a drive or it's this huge play the other way. Yesterday, a prime example, Lamar throws the ball backwards and it
Yeah.
almost leads for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like thankfully that guy's knee was down, but all of a sudden they make that one mistake where you go, how? Like the Chiefs last year where they should have knocked off the Chiefs.
I know.
The Raven guy stretches
Yeah.
for the touchdown. The ball gets popped out inches from
And
a touchdown.
I'm getting your nervousness as a
always get
Ravens
that
fan.
one.
Is that where you're still kind of they'll have a great regular season. They're gonna all these metrics and stats.
They'll have a
and
great
you get to
game.
the playoffs.
They'll have a
and
great
you'll have
game.
this flub.
It'll be
Like-
that one flub on offense, and then
the
you
Chiefs will win
They'll be moving down the field. They'll be
17
on
to-
the
and
30 or
6, yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and then there's this weird thing that happens, and you sit there and go like,
You can see it coming. You can feel
when
it.
Lamar wasn't even playing. They had the playoff game. I think it was. Was it playoffs? I'm pretty sure it was playoffs. Out in Cincinnati, they were at the one, and who was the back? It wasn't Tyrod. Who's their backup at the time? Huntley. Yeah, it's Pro Bowler. Pro
Yeah,
Bowler
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
He went to like stretch and jump the ball, and the Bengal just took the ball from him and ran it for a touchdown. Like, there's always that one play that they always make that mistake that you go, it's not a small mistake. It's this catastrophic mistake that you just sit there and go, oh, okay.
And that's why I figure you have such a good regular season.
Yeah, going into
The
KC,
expectation.
though, that's never easy.
I
Just
think
it.
the Ravens need that.
Yeah.
The Ravens need to be the road team. They
Okay.
Really?
Yes. They I'll even go back
I
to
like
back
your line of
years.
thinking here.
Well,
When they won the last Super Bowl, the year prior, Billy Cundiff missed the kick. I can't remember if that was in New England or if that one was in Baltimore. But he missed the extra point, or was it a field goal? He missed the field goal, and they got knocked out. Then the next year, they went to Foxborough, and they beat down the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. The Ravens, I feel like they're just better when they're on the road.
Well, and this year, too, I know you say Arrowhead's hard, and I agree with you, but of all seasons and the Chiefs playing as they are, this would be it, where they do go on the road and they just slaughter them and slay that demon, so to speak, in the
for
Chiefs.
me, traditionally cold weather, great defensive teams travel better in the playoffs. I don't know that Baltimore's a great defensive team anymore.
They were last year. They weren't this. They're not right now this
so
year.
I don't know that
right now.
translates as well.
And that's...
You're thinking
And what
about
wins championships is defense. So, like, the Ravens offense can go out there and put up 40 points on you.
But I don't think the
But is
KC
the
offense
defense
either
stopping
is as, I mean, Mahomes, what, 6 touchdowns, 8 picks? Like,
Yeah.
they're just kind of, you said zombie type of thing. And
He's a
that's kind of a great, that whole run, too, down the side. I hate that. Defenders don't want to hit a quarterback out of bounds, and then they tease kind of the going out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's, I don't like that. I don't know how you kind of combat that. But
The
that's
moment you start looking that you're going out of bounds, the ref blows the whistle.
Well, and you let up
that-
as a defender.
That changed. We talked about this on the Hangout.
that's how
a
you
couple
wanna
weeks
change
ago.
it. Yeah, okay.
No, but there
Yeah.
was a Pitt player. I forgot. Who was it?
I remember you talking about
Was it
this.
Will Levis? Maybe it was
But
someone
you
else.
faked to go out,
There was a
and you-
college football game. He was running. He faked the dive. The defender completely let up, and then he just took
Yeah.
off for a touchdown.
Makes you look like a
and the
genius, but
NCAA
it's-
immediately put a ruling going. The moment you look like you're going to do it, plays over.
Yeah,
so
'cause-
you can't bait a defender
that's-
that way now.
you.
It's smart play. I will give credit.
I know, but
Defense
it's a
can't do
loophole.
anything anymore.
Yes.
You can't let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's where I would
Because
say,
everybody's like, oh,
if,
what a brilliant run. Well, I'm like, no, clearly the defender,
if you look like you're running out of
turned
bounds,
off for a
Yeah.
second. And
then the ref should have the ability to be like, no, play's dead. You were going out looking like you're going
You
out of
baited
bounds.
the guy.
Yeah.
You can't bait.
Yeah.
And you're right, brilliant on his part to take advantage of that. But
Hey,
I don't
until they
want to see
change
that.
that,
Yeah.
keep doing that.
Yeah, sure.
But if you're going to constantly give, like, over the last, 15 years, rules keep going in place to make it harder and harder to be a defender.
Yeah.
You got to give them something at
Yeah.
some point.
And that
where
takes
it's
away
like-
from football.
'cause
I mean, really. And, yeah.
If you're that defender then that lets up and he bolts on you, you're going to get reamed out in practice. But then if you go and you hit him, 15-yard
15
penalty,
yards.
you're
You'll
going to get
reamed
reamed out in practice
Yeah.
or in film, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like,
Retire.
what do you want?
Like, I mean,
Yeah. Being a DB, it's hard in the CFL with the PI reviews. It's just a thankless job. Being a
yeah, it
defensive
is.
player in football.
Yeah. It's tough to form tackle when you're back there and landing a guy
Middle
up from,
linebackers used to be like Scott Stevens, right? You just,
Yeah.
who am I going to kill today?
yeah, big neck roll on and just
Can't
let it
do
rip.
that
and-
anymore.
no.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. But
We agree for the spirit of the
but you need
health.
some
and-
balance.
Yeah.
You need some balance. Like, I don't want guys like being, mushroom, like just.
Yep.
No, but you got to
life
allow
after
defenders
football.
to make plays.
Yeah.
But you
Or
can't make it so
pick-
easy to go over. Yeah, the incentive to go over the middle and have it to be a paradise.
I don't
and
want
a-
to see flag football in my life.
It's going to happen.
I don't want to see it.
I want to see it alongside tackle football.
Yeah, I don't want-
mind the
that's my
speed of the
point.
game.
I don't
yeah,
want tackle football
to
to
go
go
away.
away.
Yeah,
There's a reason the NFL is embracing flag football at the Olympics.
as they should be.
course they are.
That's their future.
They're looking at something here. You're not encouraging your players to go play in the Olympics just for flag football, just because if you're the
Yeah.
National Football League.
It's football. It's dangerous. Like last night, it was the late third quarter or early fourth quarter. It was almost a penalty for targeting a receiver. You can't take the violence out of football, and concussions are
Well, you
nasty.
can, but then it's flag football.
yes,
Yeah.
and we can't all be wearing skeleton caps or whatever they are.
Which
What
Tua
is it?
says he's not going to wear the Guardian cap.
The Guardian cap. Yeah, him coming back is I just
Put them all in leather helmets.
Holy
again.
hell.
It
Well,
would be way
that's-
safer.
Well, but that's just it. That's the theory too behind that.
Yeah.
You don't hit You know, because
game slows down.
nobody's
Go
wearing
use it
yeah.
as a weapon.
Exactly.
And everyone's more protective of their head.
Yep.
But that
You don't see NHL players like going around trying to hit people with their head. You don't.
No, yeah. If
Well,
you
it's a
had
rule,
if you had
can't, but you
But
don't.
if you had a full bubble on her, Matt, then you could see the game evolving to a point where, yeah, if you're looking for an edge, you do use your head or something in some sort of fantasy world. But
yeah, put them all in leather rugby helmets.
yeah,
They won't do it.
about a decade ago, there was a study that said take helmets out of football to make it safer.
Guardian caps or leather helmets,
And shoulder
right?
pads, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't believe hearing that from Tua that not going to wear a Guardian cap. Like,
I can't believe he's come back.
Yeah. That poor guy.
You know what's going to happen again? Like I as a
hope
Bills
you're
fan
right.
too. No, but I'm just saying he's the way he plays. He proved me wrong. I look forward to it. But
What's blanking on his name? What was his buddy's name in Washington? The quarterback whose career just got destroyed.
RG?
RG.
Do not get me going on RG3.
another
Mike
RG.
Shanahan
Legs?
ruined his career.
He's another RG.
Screw Mike Shanahan.
Yeah.
Mike Shanahan should have pulled him in that football game. That wild card game didn't mean anything.
Say what you really think.
For
Come on.
Yeah, Washington finally got to the playoffs, and you weren't going on a major run. Your future was there in RG3, but you destroyed him, and then everything went away. Protect your long-term investment.
No, it's just players
Mike
are-
Shanahan
they're
destroyed RG3's
disposable
career,
commodity.
and the problem with that is we didn't get to see RG3's full career.
look how Elway
We got
played.
1 year. 1 year out of RG3, all because Mike Shanahan's an idiot.
Elway could take a hit.
Mike Shanahan's one of the few people I just lose my mind with.
Great teeth though.
Who?
Shanahan,
Really?
with pearly whites, with his tan.
Oh yeah, you're
Going
right.
up, he was.
They were bright.
He
and
had some work
stuff.
done, baby.
I'm glad I don't have to see them on my TVs anymore. This is the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thanks for listening on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Thanks to those watching on YouTube, and thanks to everyone who's listening on the podcast. Lieutenant Eric, Dean Belanger, Matt Iwanyk with you here. Portions of this hour of the Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. I can say that an EST pop-up store is coming soon by the end of this month. Chelsea is just finalizing what we've been working on, and then hopefully maybe next week I could get that pop-up store going. So we do got the Nasty Club going. Annual and premium annual memberships are underway, but also we have this store with a lot of products this year. There's a lot that we've been working on, and we're using the secondary logo that we have that no one has really ever seen. Nice. It's actually on the Nasty Club shirts. If anyone's actually looked at the picture close enough, it's the secondary logo of EST, but that's a little bit more prominent. I will have 4 colored EST hats.
Who?
Nice.
Actually, they're all
Are you going to
flat
sell the
brims,
green
though,
one
I think.
full time?
The green and gold will be there.
Yeah, that's a nice hat.
The regular
I'd never
hat that
buy
we
it, but
have,
it's a nice hat.
we have a lighter blue and orange,
Oh,
and we have the dark blue with white, light blue lettering.
Nice.
I want them all.
We've got the
Blue and gold?
cityscape.
Got blue and gold.
No,
You son of a gun.
although this works kind
The
of.
original one's pretty close.
We should
to
do a
that.
CFL line. Hey, all the
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah,
that's next year.
Yeah,
Maybe
you can
that's
make it
next
work.
year. This year it's the Edmontons.
No,
we got Stingers. We got
Yeah, you're right.
Oilers, Elks, U of A/U of A. We've got Riverhawks. The only thing I realized late is, and I can't get it done now, is Oil King.
Well, and FC Edmonton in a way.
Matt's got a good
RIP.
side hustle going on
RIP.
with the Nasty Club too. He charges you double and pockets half of it.
It's not that my system.
Don't give
you're
it
the
away.
only- you wanted to get a change. I will have that figured out today. It wasn't double.
Membership's clicking along pretty good, though. I see people texting in, nasty chat, people renewing left, right, and center. Hey, early days.
Yeah. So
Good
now
to
I gotta start working on the cards and all of that. And
Atif?
what is he? Yeah, he's not. He's
Well, he
not
never.
in.
You heard about this, right?
Well, he
he
wasn't
was
in
never a
last year.
card-carrying member.
What?
And we're lifting him up on stage.
What a
Oh, no.
fraud.
Well, fraud, exactly.
Well, I
fraud.
knew this.
I
know
you
all
knew
the
it.
members
You
are.
have the
He-
books. I get it.
Yeah.
But he never really, we just all assumed. I mean, gee, guy in the
Come
chair.
on, be better.
Exactly.
He's still not a member.
Still not.
Oh, I'm
Wow.
gonna have words with him.
I haven't seen
And he
him.
failed miserably today on Kind of Easy Trivia. He's going to get ripped Thursday.
I miss kind of easy trivia.
Oh, he
Was it not even close?
It was a throwaway.
Were
First
they,
question was, what position does Derrick Henry play? He goes, quarterback, I think. And then it just snowballed from there. Terrible performance.
I'm gonna have to go back and
He
listen to that
laughed
one.
like he was so confident.
Wow.
Brutal.
What a fraud.
A fraud with
Wow.
a capital F. R-A-U-D.
We're going with fraud.
Fraudulent, yeah.
Who's playing Thursday?
Vikings and
Rams.
Rams? Yeah.
Rams.
I
I know.
can't go, and I have hockey that night. Can't go. Sorry.
Smoked brisket cheesesteak on special.
Friday. Jay
World
and I are there
famous.
for the last time.
Yes, you're
this
right, too,
season.
yeah.
Green and gold kickoff and post game show. 6:30. I get going because the Elks is at 7:30.
Last chance, what is it, the game day smoky?
It's game day smoky, cheese and jalapeno smoky, plus the daily specials.
Inside the
quesadillas.
smoky cheese and jalapeno? Like it's infused, the cheese inside?
No, they put cheese on top.
Oh, okay, good. I'm okay with that.
They put the cheese on top.
Inside cheese smokies, they need to be eradicated from the
What
planet.
are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a
Horrible.
hot
They're
take.
amazing.
Horrible.
What do you mean horrible? Is it because
You
of the
get that
pop? And they
bite
get,
that- when
Yeah,
you-
it's because you get molten hot
Yeah.
cheese.
Well, you got to give it a little
violated.
poke.
Yeah, you
while
gotta give it a
cooks.
little
Yeah,
air
Let
so
it
it's
him
gonna
breathe.
get
Yeah,
out.
let
Yeah,
it bleed a
Poke
bit.
it so it all runs out. What?
No, you
is
put it at the top.
Oh,
Put it at
come
the
on
top.
now.
Stupid.
One little poke and you're fine. Then you take
No.
a bite and you're good.
No, get rid of it.
Unbelievable.
Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Get rid of it.
Dean also has a
Glad
hot
I'm on the
take.
last Hangout appearance with you, Dean.
Well, the sixth was going well.
We got to get to the keyword now for the EST Flyway to LA,
going to the
presented
washroom.
by the 780 homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. Say it, 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They work with close to 100 vendors from the 780 Hotel promote and get their brands off the ground. You can check them out online, 780.com. That's the word 780.com, or at any of their 5 locations: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. We want to send you to LA, December 26th through the 30th. Warriors, Clippers at Intuit Dome. Cards, Rams at SoFi Stadium. Edmonton taking on Anaheim or LA, depending on the days. Flight, hotel, car, all given to you by EST and the 780. Dean, you were going to wear
I was gonna wear my
780
780 gear
stuff,
today.
but you've got Iron Maiden stuff. You got the shoes and the
Yeah,
shirt.
I found out last night Paul Di'Anno passed away, the original singer from Iron Maiden, first 2 albums. My favorite. 2
R.I.P.
albums.
then.
Yes.
What were the first 2 albums?
Self-titled and Killers.
Okay.
1980 and 81. You were not born yet.
No, I was not.
No.
1980, 1981. I was still 10 years away.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are young.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not young anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
old, but I'm not young.
So I've been rocking 780 gear for a while. They're great people. Go visit them.
Great
stores.
I love walking through that.
Yeah,
type
they're
of
so
stuff.
much
Like,
fun.
Just because it's just all the different stuff that is there to look at, and there. What is their underwear line again?
Alberta beef.
Alberta beef.
Very comfortable.
Oh, do you have some of theirs? Well, I'm gonna guess by you saying very comfortable.
Yeah. Adora actually gave me and Dusty a pair, and they're very comfortable. Very good.
It's a great little spot. We got to get to the keyword. I've people are listening closely. The keyword to text is 780-218-9999. It's Tucker. Tucker. Tucker, as in PJ Tucker.
Oh.
Member of the LA Clippers. Tucker.
Not Jason Tucker.
No. 780-218-9999.
That chair gets
And
everyone.
Darcy Tucker.
Darcy Tucker. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Good Canadian boy.
Oh, yeah, right.
I need somebody to bring in my headphones.
Oh, do we need a... Trev?
I'm texting right now.
Okay. This is always a fun part of the Hangout, hey? This little call overlap. We got to get the headphones, the collar, the...
I
It's a
just
thing.
forgot.
What happened? Oh, you forgot.
I just
thought
forgot
they
to
were
plug
always
it in.
just left in there, no?
No, they're my headphones.
Oh, I see. What was Tommy using then when he was in his?
I wasn't here.
So you don't even know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Did he take somebody on there?
They were just always there. Oh, yeah. And
Okay.
he'd reach over, grab the headphones. It was
Then
a
he
very
must have brought his own in.
slick process.
'Cause,
Unlike this one where it's
I
very
always-
cumbersome.
Well, I always have.
Why not
Today I
though?
forgot. I know I
well,
failed.
First day.
Did someone bring in my headphones so I could speak to the caller? I should spell caller, not call. Yeah, no, I failed on that one.
Wow, that's...
I'm a big
keeping
disgrace. I'm a big disgrace on that one. Tucker, 780-218-9999 if you want to get into the draw for the Hangout today for the EST Flyway to Los Angeles.
Is that a new water bottle as well that I see?
Yeah,
Is it your-
this is from my folks.
Folks picked that up, yeah.
when they
and
went to the Heineken factory,
very nice.
and I got the Champions League bottle.
Oh,
nice.
Does not feature Manchester United.
Well,
Champions
because he
League
wouldn't be
this year.
familiar with it because you're not in the tournament, are you?
My brother got an F1 one.
Cool.
But yeah, I got UEFA Champions League.
That's a
'cause,
better
which
Yeah.
is when's UEFA back?
Champions League?
Yeah.
Today?
Oh, is it back now?
Oh,
this
yeah.
Week?
yeah.
This week I was
Should
wondering
be
if
a
it's
few
close.
games on in about a half an hour, actually.
Oh, that's right, because
10:45.
United's got Europa on Thursday. It's Moreno.
Fenerbahce?
Yeah.
They host them or they visit them?
They go on the road.
We'll have to keep that.
So yeah, it's,
I know Bayern get Barcelona this match day.
because
Either
I
today or
saw.
tomorrow.
Oh, I should also tell people where my headphones are. Oh, it says for my desk. I'm losing my mind now.
First day back. It's just, well, you know, you can be forgiven.
Rattled.
Man. You gotta
No, they're on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Ten Hag say some nice things about Jose Mourinho.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Matty had no holidays forever, and then boom, back to back, and now you're out of sorts.
Yeah, everything's going off.
I still have a few more days. I just don't know when I'll take them. Not anytime soon. Unless people want
It
me
was told in the charter, or whatever, HR Daddy, that if you don't take the holidays, they'll need to be taken. You'll
Yeah.
have to decide for yourself,
Well, that email's coming soon.
from yourself. Like
Well,
you'll email yourself saying,
no,
"Hey, you're
no,
gonna you have
wait.
some
There's
vacation.
no
You'll have
carryover?
to."
They're very limited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to deal with that's on my task list for today, actually.
Yeah.
One of those
A
things.
long
I actually
list,
have to
I'm
talk
sure.
to you about vacations too.
Me?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I'm plumb out.
I'm going to throw a couple back to you.
Throw a couple back to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stay
Uh-oh.
tuned.
Oh no.
Stay tuned.
Oh no.
Wow, he's in a charitable mood today.
Not. I think he's in a taking mood.
I'm giving back. Why is that a taking mood?
You'll be taking from previously booked vacations.
He's one
Correct.
of those guys, right? He does something nice for you, and you're like, what's
He's
the
setting it
angle?
up. He's
What's
setting
the
it up.
angle?
I know.
Where is he going?
Well,
with
actually,
this?
I got to talk to you after the show too. I have a request, and it has nothing to do with vacation.
Is this personal? Well, there's something that came up this weekend that I don't know if it was brought up to you that I'll have to bring up to you
What?
when I was
you're
at the Whale and the
speaking
Wolf
Man,
show.
we are. I was not there, so I,
I
don't
know.
know.
I was there.
Interesting.
And something came up.
Does that have to do with Chad?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Man,
I'm
we are
intrigued.
really,
I got something from Lucas that he wants that he asked Brian and I about that I have to now see if
We could be on the same level here.
maybe.
I'm getting
Does
really
that have to do with
confused.
tomorrow?
This is a big
No.
brother thing going on.
I have no idea what's going on tomorrow.
Oh, well, you will.
Okay.
We really haven't learned anything here. More questions than answers.
So what I've learned though is I have 2 things to tell you after, and you have 1 thing to tell me
Correct.
after.
I can't wait.
Break.
And you may be getting more holidays.
Or holidays taken away.
Thank you, sir. Dusty doing a bunch for us, getting you drinks.
Yeah, no kidding. Bartending?
He's a 5-tool player.
He's
And he's talking to Nathan from England, trying to set the radio 1 or whatever, radio player thing.
Oh, is there issues? More issues that?
We have more things to talk about after the show.
Well, I heard that there was some. Like he texted me yesterday about part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're having to call. So what did we screw up?
It's a mess right now, Matty.
Well, that would be on me. But we
Well,
haven't
'cause you took
changed
time off.
But we haven't changed the settings for our back end for all the. That
He's
I don't
been
know why
talking
there
to
would be
this
issues.
chap from England for like the past week. It's been great. During the show, he's become a character on it and everything. It's awesome.
No. You got gremlins going on.
Oh, more than that. It's a
Yeah.
they're
Started with
starting a colony here.
Was it Tunin last week or the week before?
Well, both those.
Wow,
The
they
Shaw
all.
guys showed
they-
up.
they've
Like
been-
it's just been.
Well, the cable.
Well, somebody destroyed a cable.
They're looking
nearby
after
or
that
something.
copper wire. It's
That stuff happens.
high on the street.
It was not me. I wasn't leaving my place much this entire few days. So
I observed a guy going through my garbage yesterday. It could be
Just
connected.
'cause?
Well, no, but I'm just saying this could all be connected. People walking
they're
around.
finding where we're all living. They're coming at us.
Right?
Tinfoil hat.
Prove me wrong.
Is there tinfoil in his cool bed hat?
Tons,
Or?
tons. Just a big old ball there.
I love the prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong.
I'm just waiting because Trev will give somebody a call right away here.
I wonder who it'll be today.
Any guesses?
Well, it
not
could be.
Dean.
It could be something
No,
we know.
it's not me. I mean,
Wouldn't
you know
that
what?
be something? Eh?
Let's guess. Made a reappearance.
A
Let's go
proxy from us.
Dustin with why?
Oh, well, he doesn't have his work phone. He had to give it back, so he lost. This is a lesson to be
I will
learned as
say
well.
this right now. This comes out of a movie. The amount of snowball things that you texted about what happened with Dustin with the Y.
What
That's a
happened to Dustin
movie.
with a why?
So the Estes happened on a Tuesday.
Yeah, he was not there.
He
right?
shows up at Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge almost every day, Monday and Thursday, and he was there Monday. He's looking forward to it. He's got a suit. He's all ready to go.
Yeah.
They had a limo going from there. He doesn't show up that night for the limo. We don't hear from him for a month and a half.
Yeah, I was wondering where he was. At.
So he
called
he
him.
bounds in last night like a golden retriever. Hey guys, how you doing? I thought you were dead. The story goes, the night of the Estes, his daughter broke her arm. He's got to go to the hospital full suit. Take care of her. Great dad. Then he has to turn his work phone in, switch work phones around. Well, he had all his social media, two-prong identification, the
Two-tier factor.
Yeah.
Lost everything. Basically digitally died.
Oh.
Can't get on anything.
Wow.
He's got to wait till November something now. They'll get in touch with him or whatever. His ID also expired, so he didn't have a valid ID. He was trying to get into green and gold kickoffs. They wouldn't allow him into the casino. He couldn't get into any of us. I was texting him, phoning him, DMing. We were all trying to get in. He was off the map. Like, if you want to disappear, sign all your stuff up for that 2-tier, whatever it is,
tinfoil hat,
and you're done. Like, he just...
But it's like this snowball effect of daughter breaks an arm, gives the phone, loses all of his contacts, and no one could reach you. And then
That's
just
crazy.
comes up on like it's a sign of a movie where it's like, where is this person? And everyone's doing all this hunting, and then he was actually in the door next.
We are
like,
through all
next
these
door.
dark scenarios
and
because your mind wanders, right?
It's hard to disappear in 2024.
That's what I'm saying. So, but this is, if you want to do it, he's laid the
Why is
groundwork.
Trev sneering at me?
He's connected us with our caller.
Do we got the guy?
For the EST
Or
flyweight?
gal?
Maybe it's the gal.
Who is it?
It's the EST flyweight to LA presented by the 780. Trev, who do we got on the line? Jesse.
Ooh, Jesse.
Jesse, congratulations. You are now in the mix. Have you been trying to get in this entire time?
Actually, I got it yesterday morning. Thanks, Trev, for calling me again.
He got in yesterday morning. He's back-to-back days.
The
He
twofer.
gets in. Well, you've got two names into the draw, Jesse. Well, congratulations. There you go.
He's gonna boil
just
some
double
piss, eh?
odds now. Well, I don't know if it's, I guess double odds of getting in. If you were the winner of this trip, what would be the thing that you're most excited about?
Probably the Oilers game. Currently live in Calgary, so the only time I ever get to see a game is playing the Flames. So seeing them play another opponent would be sweet.
That'd be actually really cool, especially to go see them in LA. Well, Jesse, good luck with maybe trying to get a third qualifying opportunity, but also good luck November 29th for the big grand prize draw if your name's chosen. Keep your phone on because you'll have to answer, but the boys will give you a call in the morning show to let you know that you're the winner and off to LA.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good day, guys.
Best of luck. Jesse, he's in the mix again for the EST flyweight.
Lots of F words in the nasty chat, neither than the one you're thinking. Fix, farce.
To LA, your next chance to qualify for the EST flyweight to LA presented by
Trevor's
the
fault.
780. It is not
Trevor
Trev's fault.
exits the room with his head hung low.
It is coming up on EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager.
I couldn't
and
hear-
then another chance, the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne.
I couldn't hear what you were hearing. I hope it was my friend Jesse, but I don't know who it was.
It's Jesse. That's all I know. It was just Jesse.
Fergie's prostate says that's like stepping out of bounds and coming back into the field of play. Did his answer change from yesterday? Do you know? Did you ask him kind of what he's looking forward to? Did that change from?
He said Oilers. It was in
Yeah.
hockey because he lives in Calgary. And
It's not my friend Jesse.
Okay.
He never only gets to see him play Calgary because they come down. So
Fair
it'd be
enough.
cool to see him play a different team. Which fair
Buddy
enough.
of YTT, Lars.
Fair
Wyatt.
enough.
Yeah, I've seen.
Oh, he's from Calgary.
Yeah, I've seen the Oilers and
It's
the
not.
Jets on the road. It's fun.
Hey, all of it would
Tampa,
be fun.
Vancouver,
It'd be fun to be an away guy.
hey,
Florida.
You go to so many home games or
yeah.
something. You want to be there.
The Vegas trip we gave away earlier this year, we had a few people that got multiple
It
entries.
happens.
I was talking to someone recently about this, and I was like, throughout the course, like, 'cause we're doing this for 9 weeks, I think.
Truth be told, I've watched
4 days a
Trevor run
week.
the randomizer. It is all, and it's just that's
Well,
how it
and
happens.
I never
we
got
will-
through once.
No, and that's-
on the
again,
We
Vegas
will
one.
have,
and I haven't tried for this.
I would
one.
say there's probably going to be 4 to 5 people that will have multiple entries
Yeah.
on the grand prize.
It's
jet.
an odds thing, and that's-
it's how
yeah.
it'll work out. And some people get that luck of the draw, and some people won't get in. But keep trying. 2 more chances today. EST afternoons, Reed Wilkins show.
Keep trying,
with
though.
Jay
That's the advice. Keep trying. Keep at it.
You never
Dig
know.
in.
You might get that call. You might get that call from someone here saying you're in the mix. The other thing to do is make sure you keep your phone on because you don't want to. I don't know if Box Pounder's been in since, but he was called earlier in this contest and he didn't
stings.
answer.
That hurts.
And we had to go to the next person. So I don't know if he's gone in, but so keep your phone on. Keep your phone on and answer.
that hurts.
I don't know what our
It's
number shows up.
terrible.
Our
That
number
happened to me
Our number
once.
does not show up as EST or Edmonton Sports Stock. So
Dudley says last week Kyle got 2 in the same day.
Way to
Same
go,
day.
Kyle.
Same
That's
day.
pretty good.
Yeah. I remember the old 1260 days. I texted in for, I think it was for the golf tournament. And then I got called and my phone, I didn't feel it buzzing and I missed the call. I was like, oh no.
Heart drops, eh? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
the official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada. Absolutely refreshing. You want to rant about the World Series finally?
No.
Cool.
I've successfully ignored baseball pretty much all year, and I'd be happy to ignore it in
What
this segment. But
based on a team gripe, or what are we talking here? Or what do you?
it's been long going. Actually, we were talking about this earlier. It started in '94,
Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah,
and my fandom has been chipped away. Major League Baseball hates their fans. I'm convinced of this.
they don't love
Wow,
it.
that's aggressive pour.
That's a lot of head. Just how I like it, Trev.
Didn't spill.
Let it breathe.
Did you say you're the best? He
The
says he's the
Jays
best.
off season was just
Tawny Jet.
God,
It's
it was
amazing.
now we
bad.
look forward to Soto Jet.
And then it's like, let's just walk them all back because they've done such a
Hey,
piss poor
Justin
job.
Turner.
My God. So honestly, and the Oilers' run helped because they just sucked the life out of everything sports wise, right? So I wasn't watching any of the Jays to start the year, the Jays in 30.
Yeah.
And then by the time the Stanley Cup run was done, the Jays were out. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste any of my time on this. And
Say that again. By the time the Jays are out, by the time that's a very telling
They were,
metric
though.
there. Yeah, no, yeah, but damning
so
for them. Yeah.
I was really pissed, not because Ohtani didn't sign in Toronto, and I knew he was going to sign somewhere in LA or New York or San Diego or Mets or whatever. The deferred money pissed me off.
Brilliant business.
Loophole.
Absolutely, but it's brilliant. As long as it's there, brilliant piece of business.
Right. So I just said, you know what? Dodgers are going to win 100 games, which they didn't. And I could care less about this season because they're going to win.
So you should cheer for the Yankees to beat them.
You would almost think I would,
Drink poison
except
or
that
paint,
the
man.
only thing that would make me happy is no, I won't say this because it's a terrible thing to say. What you were saying earlier about the missiles.
Well, no, there's a map of the U.S. I saw online. I'm sure other people have seen this, and it's like by
Nuclear?
state who's cheering for what. And like the state of California cheering for the Dodgers, the state of New York cheering for the Yankees, the state of Florida cheering for the Yankees because there's so many snowbirds,
Yeah.
and the rest of the U.S. cheering for the meteor to just destroy everyone
sense.
and like
Yeah,
no one.
pretty
That's
accurate,
kind of where
yeah.
I was going to go with that, but a little bit more mean spirited, and I'm going to try to be an adult.
It's going to be one of the most highest rated World Series. we'll ever
100%.
see,
Oh,
I
that's what
think.
they want.
That's-
Oh, it's the
like, we're gonna get
dream.
that.
It's
Yeah.
the dream World
You've got
Series.
the two big franchises,
Yep.
historic franchises, two biggest markets, both filled with stars. They both actually have great
Well, of
star
course
players.
they're filled with stars, Matt. Because they've got $500 million in payroll between the two teams.
Go spend. The
Yeah, go
Guardians.
spend.
The Guardians
Yeah.
have their owners, the top 5 richest
I know.
owner in
I
baseball,
know.
more than the Yankees,
Yeah.
more than Hal Steinbrenner, and he has the 24th highest payroll.
Yeah.
Go spend some money if you want to go win a World Series.
Damn the luxury tax.
Go.
Can you
No, I
imagine?
Put a little bit more. The Pirates
being-
are already getting ready, like knowing that Paul Skeens is going to leave him. He's in his rookie year deal because their owner's not going to pay the money to keep him.
Yeah.
He could go keep him, but he's not going to because they prefer to make their money, get the equalization payments or whatever there is in baseball, pocket it as opposed to put it back in their team.
Try being a mid-50s fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates and remembering what was and watching the crap that they put their fans through now. Imagine being a mid-60s fan of the Cincinnati Reds and having to live through Marge Schott and all of the garbage and the team that they put out. And they actually have a decent team, if I think, this year. I thought they had a decent team, maybe 500. It doesn't matter. Baseball hates their fans.
This is something Low Tide has said many times. Like baseball owners don't like the sport.
Yeah, they like making money.
Yeah,
They
fair
like
enough,
they
yeah.
hate their own sport that they own these teams of. They're the only owners that you could say that for. But it's like they would love to just cancel any season just so they don't have to pay people. They don't want to turn the lights on.
Yeah, aside from a couple.
Yeah, like
that
it's they
show up and-
the baseball owners actually hate the sport that they're owners of. But for some reason they just they make money. So I guess that's not like that's what it is. That's all they're in it for.
It makes mad amount of money. And like you said, this is a dream World Series. I will not watch 1 second of it.
We're gonna miss out.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
But
You're gonna miss out on a great
Trust
World
me,
No, but-
Series.
I'm not missing anything.
If it's such a dream, you're not alone in this. I mean, again, the swath of America agrees with this point. So why is it such a dream? I
Because
ask
it's
again.
the
I know
two
it's
biggest
California,
TV
it's New York.
markets.
I know TV markets. But again, if nobody else is really giving a damn, I mean, is it truly a dream?
they
It's a
gonna
dream
play-
in a sense
When
that
the
people are
TV
making money.
numbers are going to be the highest.
Are they going to
Yeah.
play every game at 8 Mountain? because that'll be
I
stupid.
think they're all 6.
Tommy had them at 10 a.m. yesterday. That was something. Did you see that?
No.
What?
TSN had like a flub on their schedule and he was going off that. They were like 10 a.m. Mountain Time and he thought the World Series was going to be first. That'd be something. But you'd still get the TV numbers.
6 o'clock on Friday it begins. Oh, good thing I'm at Century Casino.
Are they
and that's in
starting
LA.
in LA?
It's in
2 in
LA.
LA, 3 in New York, and then 2 back.
6,
I'd like to be the road team, to be honest.
6, 6, 6.
They're all 6?
6.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, all 6. So everything's 6:08 Mountain.
That's
so that's
smarter.
5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern.
You like starting on the road? I would. Get that split, 3 at home?
No, I don't. As a road team, I hate the
2-3-2?
setup with 2-3-2.
I can't believe they're
Because-
going back to 2-3-2. I know the travel is gross,
They've been
but
on
the
2-3-2 for
the
a long
Oilers,
time, I thought,
the
with the
Oilers
World
just
Series.
played a Stanley Cup final with a lot of travel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but baseball is that different sport in that way.
2-3-2s. I agree with you. I'd rather have the middle three.
You know what you're
See, and I
working
don't
with in a
want-
sense, yeah.
See, it's, with the 2-3-2, I don't like that because you have to sweep 3 straight games.
Okay, but you're coming
And
home
then
for 3
stealing
and
one.
you...
Where it's like the 2-2-1-1-1 series is, okay, I got to win 2 in a row.
Okay.
And then like I
yeah.
get to
If you
split-
lose one at home in that 3, then you go back and...
Yeah, you go take 1 against the Dodgers. Okay, great. But I still have to take 3 at home
Mm-hmm.
in a row. Otherwise,
Well,
I have to go back to LA for 2.
You have to win a road game to win the World Series
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
road team.
But
So
then-
it doesn't matter
but
what
I have to
format
win
it is.
3 straight games in there. Or so basically, I have to win 4 or 5 games. So it's either sweep or I have to win in 5 to win this World Series. If I win one of the first 2 road games.
For the
Like,
record-
that's the tough part because it's a 5-game series then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to go back to LA and you got to take another. Like if you split in LA, you now are winning this series in 5. That I think is difficult to do. So now you have to then go and steal another game in LA. Whereas at least the 2-2-1-1-1 series, okay, I could
yeah, the
steal
2-2-1-1,
1
yeah.
on the road in the first 2. I could win 2 at home. I could go on the road
But
and
in
lose
a
1. and then I could
2-3-2,
win
you'd
1.
rather be the road team.
I'd rather
to
be the
start.
home team.
The home team to start.
I'd rather be a home team. Oh, I'd still rather because even if I lose the first 2, I feel like I'm probably going to win 1 of the next 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I then have the 2 final games at home to win this series.
For the record, I'm not cheering for the Yankees.
You should.
As much as I hate the Dodgers, I hate them less.
You won't even give a rating. You won't watch like your TV will be.
I'll force
No
you to
numbers
watch
from you,
somehow.
nothing.
I'll just send you pictures. I'll just text you updates.
The only
pitch by pitch updates.
you can't.
He
You
won't
can
be
do
able to
that if
resist.
you want.
Inning by inning
You'll have to
updates.
turn it.
No, please don't do that. I'll block you, and I don't want to block you.
Yankees 1-0 after 1.
You haven't already? It's
No.
great.
Half innings
No.
every third inning.
The only thing I'll see is if I accidentally have Sportsnet or TSN on and it comes on the highlight show. Okay, maybe.
Watch it in 30.
Nope,
They get the World Series in 30.
never. This
You're
is
gonna miss out on-
worst case scenario for me.
Do you like history?
Of course, I love history.
You get a chance to see the Yankees extend their record-setting
boy.
number of World Series from 27 to 28.
Yeah, that's history.
So,
eh?
Dean, what else
so,
is cooking in your life here?
big,
Cheese Smokies, eh?
Cheese Smokies, Riders,
Yeah.
up there with things I dislike.
Egg.
This is going to be great.
The thing, you know what I think I love about
what's
getting to know
fascinating?
you? We hate each other's team, but we have so much mutual respect for each other and our team.
Put her there.
Yeah.
Put her there.
Like,
well, no, but
your brother annoys the hell out of me with his fandom. But
as
you
he
are like-
should. Well, no, but there's a... Before you guys got Caleros
Yeah,
and,
we
and
just
O'Shea
took
was
that
on the
talk
hot
away.
seat and Nichols was,
I'll
you
get
know...
back to what I need to say.
But you guys were seen as more of a friendly rivalry. It was,
Yes.
and then you guys got competitive, and now I think it's obvious. I've been to the games now; it's a lot more mean. But at the same time,
Not
I
in
do.
Winnipeg, by the way. I was at the Banjo Bowl. It was not mean. We weren't mean to any Saskatchewan fans.
Oh no, you guys are all saints. You
No,
guys.
no, I just think there's a lot of drunk
I get
people
it.
that are not
It-
saints, but it wasn't. I didn't see the same level of
the
visceral
Blue
behavior.
Bombers fans I've seen in Regina are grotesque.
Yeah.
And again, when you go into the belly of the beast, that's what you have. You have to put on the armor, and you got to act a little more mean.
And you mix in alcohol.
But alcohol is a terrible thing.
Yes.
But to my point, I think it's a great rivalry, always has been. But it's good when you Oilers and Flames, McDavid and all that.
Yeah.
If I'm an Oilers fan, I want the Flames to almost be up there challenging. Beating down a rival and pounding them into the sand is one thing for a while, but it's like, and I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but it's nice to have a good, healthy rivalry and a good competitive rivalry.
Yep.
It brings out the best in everybody. And you can have your disagreements and your arguments, but that's one of the definitions of sport in my mind. That's what you want, and I think so. And it's the same in this province too, with the Elks and the Stamps. I think having those two teams, we've gotten the coastal teams figured out now. Domon and the Lions and the Argos but getting that rivalry again going and buzzing and humming, good for the league. That's what you need.
Agreed.
That heartbeat going.
But it's nice for you and I, for the first time, and I can't remember, for either one of our teams who could finish first this weekend.
Gotta love it.
When's
Gotta
the
love
last
it.
time
May
that
the
happened?
best man win, and that's And BC will be visiting one of us. Hey, I love it. It's good. Always going there and playing in that damn dome, and it's all with the voodoo that circles BC Place. But no, it's nice that they have to go to either one of Winnipeg or Saskatchewan. Bring it on. I love it.
Should be good.
So, Maddie, are you done with your baseball talk
Actually,
already?
the one thing I do want to point out with this World Series, it should have happened in like 2017. This is two teams that got screwed by the Astros. Meaning, it's the revenge from the Astros.
Garbage
so,
can.
so a little gripe now. Yeah,
I also don't
the
like the
Astros.
justice
Astros.
served. Well, no, we can all agree
They're
on that.
finally
yeah.
back. Hey, Yankees, I stand.
Finally, yeah. I know it's been 15 horrible
Yes,
years
it
for
has
you,
been.
Matt.
The suffering.
Has been.
Wandering around
How
in the
dare
desert.
the vaunted
The
Yankees miss?
meek
How
are inheriting
dare
the
they
earth.
miss for 15
Oh,
Not
years?
even, not even the richest team in their own city, the Yankees.
That is actually technically true.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
come
technically
on, come
true.
on.
It's true.
No, but if
in
you
terms
look
of
at
payroll,
the active roster,
I don't care.
the Yankees are way higher.
They're paying more.
They're paying
The
more
Mets are
because
paying more.
They
And
have
next
a
year,
lot of bad
next
deals.
year, the Mets are going to pay a lot for Juan Soto.
Yep, probably.
Soto Jet.
And I don't think he'll
James
defer.
Soto-
Helicopter.
I don't think
He'll
he'll
catch
be
that
Soto
Uber
cab.
helicopter
Soto
between the
cab.
two.
Yeah.
At least Subway. Soto Subway. He's going to book off his own Subway to go between Yankees and Mets.
I'd be happy with Judge never winning anything. That
Why?
would make me happy.
Judge doesn't seem like he's an arrogant guy. Like
No,
he doesn't seem like that.
He's just wearing the wrong jersey.
Well, in a week he'll be wearing the even nicer one
No, he won't.
because they'll have won the World Series.
Norman at
about
Combine
it.
says Astros are number one. All caps lock.
Really?
He's a big Astros guy.
Can't take his shirt off though.
I
'cause
got
he's
a
wearing a
buddy
wire.
who's a huge Astros guy, and every time they would lose, I would send him a picture of the garbage can. It was great.
Just check him for a wire.
They're so bad.
It's easy to make fun of them, hey?
GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show tonight. The game's a 7:00 game, which means that gets going at 6 o'clock.
7:20. Oh,
Yes, right there at home.
yeah.
It's 7:00. No, because it's not national.
7:10,
You're talking about like
7:15,
they're pretty good for this one, like 7:10
But it ain't baseball.
ish.
No, it's not baseball.
7:08 maybe puck drop. But the
Two
GCL Diesel
anthems,
Oil
though,
Stream
so-
pregame
You're right.
6
Yeah.
o'clock right here in Edmonton Sports
7:09.
Talk.
Let's go 7:09.
Tommy and
Cool
Hernan, they'll get going.
Get it up there.
Come on, cool bet.
I do have lines from Tommy and Reed
I heard
from
they hit the
practice.
blender again.
McDavid in between Nuge and Hyman, Draisaitl centering Skinner and Arvidsson, Henrique between Podkolzin and Perry, Ryan between Janmark and Brown, D pairings Ekholm, Bouchard, Dermott, Nurse, Kulak, and Stetcher. Nurse on the right side, by the way, with all of that. And that's
great.
Amberson looks to be out. So according to, once again, from Tom Gazzola and Reed Wilkins, McDavid in between Nuge and Hyman, Draisaitl centering Skinner and Arvidsson, Henrique between Podkolzin and Perry, Ryan between Janmark and Brown, defensively Ekholm, Bouchard left, right, Dermott, Nurse left, right, Kulak, Stetcher left, right. Emberson, the odd man out.
I think outside of his family, I'm the only person in the city that defends Darnell Nurse. You can't put him on the right side.
Well, Chris Knobloch said, watch me, Dean.
He's
Hold my beer.
prove me wrong.
Yeah,
Pure
I'll show
chaos
you.
tonight. Oh boy.
Unless it, what? Maybe he's the right pairing defenseman this team has been looking for all along.
Maybe.
The call's coming from in the house.
Maybe.
The calls coming from in the house. Vasily up to line 3, hey?
Yeah.
Good for him.
So I don't know. How was the panic? Was there panic after the Stars loss from Oilers Nation?
Well, they played well.
They could have had
against the
two
Stars.
early if the puck bounced a different way. I thought. And the Stars are a good team, and they,
Last time I checked, the Stars have a good team and a really good goalie.
Yeah,
and
took their
once
chances.
in a while, the goalie will beat you.
much like last year in game 6 when it was almost flipped scenarios. 10 shots for the Stars, I think, in that, or no, for the Oilers in that win.
11.
So yeah, I mean,
That happens.
Early days.
Oilers almost lost to Vancouver because of a goalie.
Jason Milner brought up a good point in the Hangout, I do think, yesterday, though, and you subscribe to this early season. Points matter at any time of the season. And when you're looking to...
But
They matter for what?
They're ahead of last year.
Like
Depends on who you are.
Yeah, but
what
what's
do you
the
want?
end result we're talking about? Are we talking playoffs?
Home
We're
ice.
talking about division?
Home ice.
Yeah, no, you need these points.
Yes.
Home ice matters.
So that's what I'm saying, where people are kind of, and you're not panicking in terms of a season or, as you say, missing the playoffs, but points are points, and you collect them as you can and whenever you can. And you're not saying the same thing about the Stars. They're not pissing away points, and in that certain scenario, in a sense. So,
But everyone does go through some sort of slump.
They do, and they will go through theirs.
The Oilers right now aren't in a 2-7-1 slump.
Right.
No,
They're better
yet,
than last.
yeah. But the special teams are a concern. Like, there are things to be concerned
special
about.
teams
but
are concerned.
You have to think that that'll also round out eventually and
Yeah.
get back to where it is. But
No.
Yeah, you don't have a power play with McDavid and Draisaitl on it that is going to keep clipping the way it is.
do you take Nuge off? Do you limit their
No.
time? Do you do anything? Or do you just patience?
Just keep running it out there.
Keep getting it. Yeah.
Their practice time, maybe work on the PK because that needs some fix. But
Noodles today said he perhaps thinks they're being too playoff aggressive
yeah,
in their
and it's
PK
being
much.
used
Yeah,
against them. I heard
yeah.
him say that too. But
Teams are
their
slowing it
power
down.
play, I would not change a bloody thing on that. And don't take Nuge off. He's a
Yeah.
very key part of that power play.
It was the greatest. It's one of the greatest power plays we've ever
No,
seen. in
Cheat
the
code.
history
It's a
of
cheat
hockey.
code. It's a cheat code.
Yeah,
They're going to find their way.
yes,
Like that's
100%.
I guess maybe you could take Nuge off for a little bit if you want. You could take Hyman for a little bit, but they're gonna go back on that
None
at
of
some
it's
point
in
and be
stone.
successful.
None of it's in stone.
Yeah, they'll be successful because this power play is not going to stay the way it is.
So here's a ridiculous statement. The guy that scored 70 plus goals last year is the easiest guy to replace on that power play. You could put anyone
talking
in
about Hyman?
Yeah, you could put
Yeah.
anyone in Hyman's spot. Nuge does a lot of the passing, a lot of the stuff to keep things moving. Someone said it somewhere. When he was hurt, that power play went down hard when he got hurt a couple of years ago.
So do we need then a longer preseason to get
We
these
need a
guys?
shorter preseason
but I'm
and
just-
more practices.
You know where I'm coming from here. NFL, they say, oh, week 3 of the regular. Oh, it's still preseason. You gotta. Well, what is it? Like, you have to ramp them up to get them going to be playing regular season games.
The
And
Bombers didn't play any players in the preseason, and look how they started the year with injuries as well. But
Right, yeah.
They sleptwalked for 3 weeks
but a different type of schedule in terms of
Yeah.
games and points and everything.
for
but
sure. Preseason,
I just
8
Smith-
games is too many.
Smitty the Welder, keep running it at home for different results with the laughing emoji. Well, that's because look at what that same power play has done over the last 3 seasons. You're really going to throw it out like
you could have
what you're seeing right
opinion
now
on both
is the
sides of
different
that.
results from what has happened in the past. Like, I'm sorry, I'm willing to give that power play a lot more time.
You have to.
Based on what they have done over the last
They've
number of
earned it.
years,
Yeah.
led by Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Like, why do you expect Leon and Connor not to be able to figure this out with that group?
There's a 4
I'm
or
sorry,
5
there's-
point game coming
it's
for
still-
both those
They'll have a
players.
dam breaking
It's still
instance
early
and-
to be like, well, keep running it out there and expecting different results. Definition of insanity. We're not talking about being halfway through a season or something like that.
Well, definition of insanity is bang your head against that's
Yeah.
something that's never worked and still trying on it.
And that's exactly
has
never worked. This has worked quite well.
Yeah.
For the
So
last
there's-
number
Yeah,
of
and you've
You're
had
doing
the
it for a
same
reason.
assistant coach that's been doing it since he got here, and it's been nothing but top 5 every year. Yeah. So I'm willing to give that some more leash.
100%.
Arvidsson, Hyman, pointless. Which concerns you more, if any, or is it just a saw off and you don't really care at that stage?
Say Arvidsson more than Hyman. Hyman's had chances, disallowed goal.
2 different players, I get, and they're scoring 2 different areas and
Yeah.
whatever. But
Hyman was bound for a step back.
Yeah, he's
season,
not getting.
yeah, no,
50
all
this
right?
year.
those.
Like,
Yeah.
that was always.
But
gonna
all the
happen.
goals they were disallowed too. That
Yeah.
he could have and should have, would have had, but.
Their first 3 games of the year were just as like everything that could happen did. It was insane.
And it was that goals against that followed them through the preseason that you were
Yeah.
kind of, oh, this won't happen in the regular. Oh, that's just preseason.
Yeah.
It kept going like that. But the defense is Dermott draws back in
I like
tonight.
Dermott.
Emberson
on the
out.
left
Yeah.
side though.
I
Because
like
there's
Dermott.
one on the right side.
Yeah.
Would you say the call comes
The call.
from it?
The calls. The calls.
Quote
come
of the
from-
show.
You're too young for that reference, by the way. That was like I was like a little kid when
I
that
love
movie
it.
came out. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, it's
that's still
to the Arvidsson Hyman. The thing to me is and people don't want to hear this still. And to me, this is an 82 game preseason for the playoffs. Like
I know.
I don't.
Well, no,
I
but it can't
personally,
be.
I don't. Of course, it can.
Well,
It-
no,
it
you
can
need to,
be,
you
though.
need to
It can
actually
be.
win games and
No, absolutely,
get
but they're
your
going
position.
to. I know that they're going to.
Where
This
did the
team-
Panthers enter the tournament last year too? Right, like it's kind of
like-
a
yeah,
weird,
they
This
didn't
is-
have the year that they did the year before.
but you
Right.
get in and you.
To me, it's one of those like this team is going to be different come after the trade deadline. They're going to be a different hockey team. They're too good not to win hockey games. This power play is going to turn around with Connor and Leon. Those guys still are going to have those massive games. We still haven't seen them blow up. There's a lot of things that just haven't happened yet, and they're going to explode. And this team's going to win 7 of 10 games at one point, right? Like soon,
Yeah,
and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, the Oilers are sitting at the top of their division or right there." Like, yeah, it's fine. Like,
To play contrarian, though, there is the theory of catching lightning in a bottle in a sense, and you look at goaltending. The PK was a plus at
you
some
saying
point.
for last year?
Yes, and Smitty the Welder jumps back over the ropes. Don't care what happened last year. It's a new year, period. Guys are struggling. Things need to shake up. Matt Hyman says they are hoping for the same result based on history. And there is a danger, too, in just strictly going off that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
But
trying to play
history
the...
to me is like, oh, this happened. This guy, that happened 2-3 years ago.
A smaller
we're
sample size.
We're talking
This
about
is a
how many
big-
games have the Oilers played this season.
Yeah, I know.
And we're not talking about a history of like, well, this worked 4 years ago. We're talking about this worked months
And we're
like,
not halfway through the season where it's not.
What? How many
Yeah.
games has it been since Game 7? Like last season wasn't that long ago, and this was working.
Yeah.
But also, like Oiler fans are sometimes also the ones that get upset that immediately Chris Knobloch goes to Leon and McDavid on the top line in Game 1, and it's like Blender's always out, and the blender comes and it's like let things marinate, let them work through some
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Now for the power play, they're letting them work things. It's why aren't you making changes?
Yeah.
To me, it's early in the season. I'm overall, I don't like all these line changes that I'm fully seeing from the Oilers. I think let them build that chemistry and let them work through some
On
things.
all fronts.
On many
Yeah.
fronts, absolutely. So, but you can't get upset when the lines change because it's too soon, and then when it doesn't change here, like you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm giving the power play more rope. And what does more rope mean? 5-6 more games?
Sure.
Based on 5 years of data with the same
Yes, you're not
guys
going off a little spurt or
that
something.
we all believe.
This sample size is smaller than that sample size.
Correct.
Yes,
by
yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, am I going to sit here and say because we had the number 1 PK in the playoffs last year that's just good God given? No, it's like
PK's different.
They lost 3 main penalty killers from last year.
PK
And that's
is a
where it
different
changes based on
conversation.
history. You can say,
Right.
well, history. Well, this is
so
now.
tinker
it's
with
yeah.
that for sure. Change that.
Because that one doesn't have, and they lost those players. The PP though is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still been the same players, and the sample size that we have, which is massive, says that these guys are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's led by 2 of the top 5 players in all of hockey. We're not just talking about also like just a bunch of 5 guys that have been well the last years. We're talking about Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
But on an
turning this
individual
around.
basis too, a goaltender can have a good year and then have a bad year to follow it up, and that's
sure.
just down to the. And I'm funneling it down to a one particular
Yeah,
person.
but then you need
know,
5 guys who are on a generational power play to all have bad years.
yes, no, I get it. Yeah,
That's not statistically as probable.
yeah, absolutely.
Shit, I was just going to. I swore. I was going to say
that's a
something.
good- that's
McDavid's
easy.
only a point a game player. Yeah, he used to be a
Yeah,
2-point per
true,
game player.
true.
Maybe you throw him down the lineup. You know?
Oh, that's what I was gonna
that's,
say.
You know,
If you want
it's not playing as well as he used to. Maybe definition of insanity here, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
if you want to send a message, send out
on.
the second unit first.
yeah, why not?
or
That will
Or
piss
limit
them
the
off.
time and give them more of
that,
a
or you pull them off
hourglass thinking.
sooner. Like one or the other. Give
send
the
them out
second
first.
unit some time.
Send
Hourglass
them out
thinking. They
first.
only have a
Yeah.
couple chances. Make your chances and get them on.
Yeah, because they've gotten so used to a minute 45.
Exactly. That's yeah.
Yeah. So make the second unit relevant by saying we're going to have a little competition.
Yeah.
Skinner's one of their hotter offensive players.
Yep.
Put that line out.
Yeah.
Leon's less than a point a game player.
I know.
Him and Broberg are tied, I do believe. Is
Press
that what it
box
is?
time for Leon.
Hey, now.
Definition of insanity. Why are they still putting him out there?
Wow.
Look at him.
He's
Why
going-
are they
he's
putting him out
running with
there?
it.
I don't care about what he's done the last few years. He's not doing it this year.
Oh,
He's not
Matty.
doing it this year.
Matty.
May not even make the German team.
Not getting it done
Yeah,
this
well,
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complacency is a real thing, Smitty. And Leon and Connor have complacency. It's time to kick them up. Put them on the
Stutzel,
third and
the
fourth
best
line.
German on the planet.
Third and fourth lines.
For hockey.
Give them a chance down there.
Where's the mitt?
Let them earn their way back onto the top lines because I don't care what they've done in the past. They're not doing enough this season. Put them back up there.
Wow. Anyhow,
Spirit.
I need to get to Road Warriors. Sorry.
He got into character. He turned into a road warrior. He's a
Coals
shoulder
coming
cap
from
with
within.
the-
Yeah.
Road Warriors presented by Aki Still Heavy Haul
The
Trailers,
Legion.
custom manufacturing heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas equipment, highway transportation, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for large loads. AkiStill.ca. Again, the Edmonton Oilers, they are hosting the road team, the Carolina Hurricanes, tonight in the NBA. I believe it kicks off today. What do we got?
Celtics Knicks. That's your early one, and then Lakers T-Wolves from LA.
Yes.
father-son
so
game.
the Celtics get to raise their NBA
who
record
cares?
championship
We're all
banner
looking
against
for
the
daddy
Knicks.
and son. Let
And
them
then-
dribble.
Lakers, Timberwolves, 8 o'clock. Wow, the Knicks are a fascinating team to watch too. They made the big
made
trade
a deal,
recently.
yeah.
They're always
so you got the
fascinating.
2 games as the NBA season kicks off. But when does JJ Redick throw Bronny out there? So LeBron and Bronny can
Off
play
the
together.
hop, you let them
don't
dribble.
start.
You let them dribble for 23 seconds. The Timberwolves. That you say to the Timberwolves, it should be an all agreement. They lay
Oh,
back.
that's time.
that is.
It's time count there. So you take the shot after.
There's the mitt right
Daddy,
there.
Daddy and boy. We talked about this in the morning show, and Dustin will be watching with Marshall, and the Griffies are in attendance.
They are in
Griffey
attendance.
And son.
Yeah.
So have a dribble
Oh, yeah,
with Daddy.
Dusty will be crying.
Have a dribble with Daddy. It'll
Yeah.
be not a dry eye in the house.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they should do it.
And I'll be vomiting on the side.
You're.
I will
Aside
say
from the CFL, this sucks right now. Hey, like we're
You're not wrong. My fandom of many leagues has gone into the
everybody's like,
crapper
"This is the best
lately.
time for sports." You're not in agreement.
But at the same time, I find myself watching Hamilton Montreal games in the CFL and enjoying
Heavy glee,
it.
yeah. Well, and you sport too. Football is ramping up for playoffs. Raptors, Cavs tomorrow. Their home opener. Toronto's home opener. It's Canada.
Raptors will be an
Have a little
interesting
national
team.
pride here, Matty.
it's Toronto. I don't cheer for Toronto. We grew up like I was taught never to cheer for Toronto, and I was
it's
supposed to
the
cheer for these
Raptors,
Toronto
baby.
teams. Don't care. I'm a Laker
I
fan.
only hate the Leafs.
Do you have an NBA team?
Yeah, Raptors. Used to be the Pistons, and then when the Canadian teams came in, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give that a go.
You chose the Raps, not the Grizz. Okay.
I was a Grizz guy more, if anything. Like
West
I was more of
Coast.
an Expos guy. I will say this about Bronny and LeBron. I don't mind if JJ Redick starts with Bronny and LeBron
I don't mind that.
just to get it over with.
Yeah, I
Sure.
don't mind
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
A quick sub, 2 minutes in the game, take Bronny off and put your real lineup
Get the
out
hype
there.
out.
Yeah.
But because that is going to be
Get
like
him an assist
it's
or
going to
get him a
happen in
cheap
the game
layup.
at some point.
Yeah.
But it's going to be then this. Okay, when do I get this done?
The longer
when
it
do I
goes,
throw him
yeah,
out there
yeah.
and like if the game starts getting a little close, well, you can't do it later. I would almost actually just do like it's the start of the game.
And start of the season.
It's the
the
start of
second
the
half of a tip-off
season.
night.
Yeah.
Just
TNT would love it.
Exactly.
Let them have that.
100%.
And then Bronny, okay, there'll be one possession one way, one the other way. Bronny, you're
and
off.
now we're
You're
yeah.
off, and now you're the
Here comes the
14th
real
player.
starter,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
then let JJ Redick do what he needs to do for the rest of the season. But I don't actually hate the idea as a Laker fan of it starting that way, just to get it done.
You love it though too.
No,
Come on.
well, I'm a Laker guy. I'm not a LeBron guy.
I know,
You have to-
but
and
still,
I'm
it's the
different than
lore.
Le-
It's the
I'm
lore of the
different than
franchise.
than
This is
Dusty on
another
this.
chapter in the rich history
Sure.
of your. Yeah,
They need to go win a title.
you just want to get it out of the way. Yeah.
Well, I don't mind for the team. Like, focus on the goal this year is to get back to being a
I
top
hear
team
you.
in the
I
West to
hear
go and
you.
win a title. And like, I don't know how much time Bronny's going to
Straight
get
business.
down this season.
And how much
So,
would the NBA
like,
love a Knicks and a Lakers championship game?
I don't think it's Knicks Lakers.
I see what you're doing.
I don't think it's
No,
Knicks
but
Lakers.
how much
But
would
wouldn't it
they
be
love
something?
it?
I don't think it's that one. I think it's Celtics Lakers. I think it's getting that one back.
Adding
think
to
the
Matty's
league
I think
glorious
it's
wants
year.
that?
I think that's a better one.
Yeah.
Because the Celtics have the history longer than the Knicks do. Like the Knicks actually really haven't won
The
that
Knicks
many
get
titles.
talked about
And
more than any garbage team ever
Celtics,
should.
Yeah,
Lakers.
They are
here.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Don't deserve
Celtics, Lakers also have that rivalry.
Yeah.
So that would be, to me, I think the league would rather, personally, I would guess the league would rather have that one than the Knicks, but maybe because the New York market is number
they
one,
want,
that would
they
want.
want the Knicks.
Man, if you had a Knicks Lakers with the Dodgers Yankees type of, that'd be
My
great.
head might explode.
Well, you'd be
It might
Then
just
like a
explode.
cheese-filled
And-
smoky.
Yeah, and then we'll get
Then you
the
need the
Cowboys,
Cowboys
yeah,
taking
in
on,
the Super Bowl against. Well, I
the
get
Jet-
KC
the Jets.
now. Oh, the Jets. Yeah. Oh, what a
What a
tire
Super
fire.
Bowl
Jets
that'd be.
come back.
Oh
Wow.
my God, the Jets are bad.
Yeah,
And I'm all here
Jordy
for
Nelson leads them.
I love when the Green Bay quarterbacks leave and just suck. It's great.
Yeah.
They like to take down the Jets too. We are minutes away from Rodgers texting his junk to somebody.
You actually, you know what? Yeah, like sand through the hourglass. That's going to be happening.
Yep.
You can
Yeah.
book it.
Meanwhile, Green Bay seemed to have developed another good quarterback.
They
Yeah, and where will he
do.
go and tank? The Jets?
Well, he's got that's the history.
right.
Fuck the
Favre went to-
Giants. They were the
Yeah, why
Giants.
not? They can have a
Yeah.
little fun too.
Yeah.
He's got to go to the Jets. You got to, as is tradition.
As per
When you are
tradition.
done with the Packers, as is tradition,
Yeah.
you go to the New York Jets.
Yeah. And you get
And
your,
the Jets welcome you for 2 years, and then you move on to either your podcasting career or the Vikings,
as
I
per
thought the
tradition.
Lions-
as per tradition.
I honestly thought the Lions were going to romp their division. I can't believe how good
Hell of a
that
division,
North
eh?
has been.
And the Bears too, still firmly
Yeah.
in the mix. I'm not
Absolutely.
doubting them at all.
Yeah, it's a great division.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought Minnesota were frauds, but
Sam Darnold.
Great
good-
defense.
Great
Great
defense.
defense. Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
Sam
Sam's
Darnold.
A beneficial, but it goes to show that you don't need like a
no, you just have to
star
manage.
quarterback and manage. And exactly. yeah.
Wow.
And Jones has helped a ton at running back when he's been healthy.
Sure.
I will say the one,
Another guy
like
who
we
the
know that
Cowboys
if you
could
have a
sign.
great defense, it does. Like Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl.
It's not a
happened
guarantee, but
because
yeah.
Yeah.
he wasn't Peyton anymore. It was that
Yeah.
Broncos defense
Yeah.
was unreal.
Yep.
You're
Rex
only a-
Grossman was a Super Bowl
Rexy, sexy
appearing
Rexy.
quarterback because the Bears had an unreal defense.
And Devin Hester.
Trent Dilfer
Yeah,
is a
I
Super
was gonna
Bowl
say.
winning quarterback.
That's
You're
the
only
biggest
a-
example of them
a
all.
fan of that team because of that defense.
Defense, like that's when you have
Yeah.
a historic or a top defense.
Warren
it could
Sapp, Derek
take you
Brooks, Rondé Barber,
far.
right? That's your spine there, hey?
Yep.
I
Are you
think
talking
that's
about Bucks?
The Bucks spines.
When
Was
they
that
beat
the
the
Bucks spine?
Raiders? Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
they
much,
were-
eh?
That was a sick defense.
Yeah.
Was
And the
that-
Raiders were all offense, Gannon, right? And
it
the
was
crew,
the battle
like
of
that-
number one offense, number one defense, I
Correct.
believe.
Yeah, yeah.
And the defense absolutely destroyed the offense in
Yeah.
that one.
It's
Wasn't
not
even
always
close.
for sure, but you're
That's where, and going
can-
back to the Ravens for me, that's where it's
Yeah.
like the offense is great. Cool. Let's talk about Lamar. Let's talk about Derrick Henry. But they don't play defense.
And was it the Raiders left tackle that went MIA and missed the Super Bowl? Was that?
Oh, I can't remember that. That was,
Yeah, he
that
was
was
a-
like 02.
He was on their line. Really important player, and he just disappeared. That doesn't help your chances of winning a Super Bowl. I remember there was a blizzard that day. I was super excited.
Here?
I was going to watch because I was a Raiders fan at the time. Hey, shout out Raider Jesse. And they were down like 17 like this. And I'm like, and I'm going outside to shovel. And I shoveled for hours.
yeah, get that bad
That
energy
wasn't
out of you.
close.
No, that
That
was
game,
bad.
that was a bad one.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a real. Oh no, we had that blowout.
It would also help that
Broncos Seahawks. The Seahawks absolutely
Gruden was the
destroyed the Broncos.
coach the year before of the Raiders and knew their whole entire system and everything. It was garbage.
Dudley says, I forgot to thank you guys for the Gedfest tickets. I had a good time Saturday. Wayne the Wolf put on an awesome show. Good to hear, Dudley.
It was great seeing you. It was also
yeah.
great seeing Jason and Andrea out at Gedfest, and Whale and the Wolf put on an excellent set. I hadn't seen them in a while.
Midway's a nice place to see some music.
It's a nice
Midway's
spot.
a great
Yeah, yeah,
place
yeah.
to
They've
see
really
that.
done it up nice.
Last time I was there was Guar.
Yeah, right. Hey,
Nice.
we took old Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. It is a great spot. It was a fun time. If you have tickets to the Howling Howler, because it's sold out.
Is it there? No. Oh,
No, Whale and the Wolf.
Sorry, yeah.
Whale and the Wolf is they're at River Creek.
right.
You'll be able to
River
see
Cree.
them this
And that's a
Friday.
good venue, too,
Last
yeah.
chance
Yeah.
to see Whale and the Wolf in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe there's anything else. So
How do they not have a New Year's gig?
because they want to spend New Year's with their family.
Fresh Daddies. It's an aging band.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll be playing with Trooper and
That's a
Honeymoon
big
Suite
money
before
night
you
for
know it.
bands, though.
Well,
New Year's Eve's a big money night for
They've
bands.
done it. They've done it. New Year's is overrated.
Oh, it's
Here, here.
brutally overrated.
Here.
But from a band point of view,
When's the last time you stayed up till midnight on a New Year's?
I never do.
But like the last time that you can remember. What are we talking?
4
A
years
decade?
ago.
I don't.
4
know.
years ago, maybe
I
for
could
me?
care
Probably 5 for me. I would say safely. Yeah.
I know, like
4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. My nephews were in town
Yeah.
and they wanted to stay up.
Just yeah,
21.
you're not. Yeah.
I did it in 21. I remember one year I watched college football. Georgia destroyed Michigan in the semifinal, and I went to bed early that night. I don't even remember what I did this past year on New Year's, but I've been going to bed earlier.
Yeah, it's just
it's like whatever.
It's a junk.
It's not
a
worth
dump.
going out.
Garbage. It's like the World Series.
It's like the World Series.
Yeah, it's just-
That's not like the
Not
World
worth
Series
it.
because the World Series is amazing, and the Yankees looking for number 28 and the go-to for Edmonton if you want to know what's going on in the World Series. Right, here. I'll
scrappy
text you.
underdogs. The
I'll
scrappy underdogs.
Let me know your number, and I will gladly text you updates like I will for Dean this
Thanks,
entire
buddy.
World
I
Series.
really appreciate
Get a
it.
mailing list. Eh?
I have to download a couple of good pictures to send back and hate.
I'll just keep a pitch by pitch or inning by inning. Half inning, or full inning?
Wow. Sabermetrics
well,
here,
if I'm
eh?
going to pick anything, it would be full inning, but don't do that.
Oh, you picked. Okay.
No, don't
You
do
picked.
that.
On the record.
I just heard if I have to pick any, it's going to be the full inning. So the full innings is what Dean
Do me a
wants.
favor. I'm going to block you. If you want me to
You can
come
do what
on
you want.
here, send me a DM on Twitter.
I'll send you the updates on
those are
Yankees
easier
on
to
DM
ignore.
too.
Those are easy to ignore.
He's got burners.
Dean, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
problem.
Coming up next here on
luck
Edmonton
this
Sports.
weekend.
Thanks for jumping
too,
on as well.
Either way, we're going to crush BC.
No home Grey Cup.
Nope.
The
That never
VAJ
happens.
story ends now.
They had it happen once.
It doesn't
like
happen
2011
often.
or whatever it was.
Hamilton had a home Grey Cup.
That's
and
true. That
lost.
happened recently.
Ooh. Poor Ticats.
Coming up next, Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss. Noon, it's two guys and a goalie. 1 o'clock, EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager. 3 o'clock, Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. 6 o'clock, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tommy and Hernan. All coming up here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. And 2 more chances to qualify for the EST Flyway coming up, EST afternoons and the Reed Wilkins show. On behalf of Eric, Dean, Matt, thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout live on your clear choice for Edmonton sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. As I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.